BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here.
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Seven and nine. Tom Landry, 0-11, 4-9, 5-8, 4-10, 5-8. Hall of Fame coaches, all of them. Bill Walsh, first year, 2-14, second year, 6-10. So I think the easy thing to do is just look at the results and say, oh no, we've got to have a change. You got to look beyond that. You know, what are the reasons why we were 9-8 instead of, 13-4? And look, it's collective. It's the players, it's the coaches, it's me. It's our personnel staff, our roster. It's variables sometimes that we don't have any control of. And so my assessment is Dennis Allen is a good coach. And again, we went 10-6 the first year, but then we were 7-9, 8-8. I heard some of the same noise. But at the time, I knew we had a good football coach. And so I think sometimes the hard thing to do is to be patient and recognize your other shortcomings and get those fixed. And that's what we're doing.
That's what we're going to do. Shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all, man. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from the favorite sports fam. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in this Thursday episode of the Coma. Man, we got some stuff to go over in this episode of the show. I thought it'd be fitting to start out with Mickey Loomis. Oh, hold on now. Hold on. We're going to get it, man. The easy thing to do. The lazy thing to do. You see how he bust that move, y'all? He threw his arms up. As you can see, kind of unbalanced, man, in this one. He said, I'm ready. And I came with the smoke. I'm ready for the damn smoke. Now I'll show your ass. All right, big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Much love, fam. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Be great, Josh, Pelicans, Nola, Desi. Shout out to you, brother Willie Garrison. All right, what's up, Joseph? Shout out to you, L-Dub. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. What's up, Michael? It says Mickey holding the foot down during this low-key rebuild. What's up, Tyrone? Yeah, he definitely owns something, bro. You can look at it and see. And this one, his face was flushed. She was acting weird, chewing that gum, drinking water or juice while you're drinking gum, which is a no-no. Nobody in their right mind chews gum and drink juice with it. You have a nasty, stinking. I ain't gonna even go there because that whole little place turns on Suspect Avenue, and we definitely are veering away from that. So anyway, big ups to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the stream. What's up, brother Ro? How you doing, fam? Appreciate you. Dudley, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you as well. He says Mickey Loomis is gonna have Dennis Allen coach again next year. Mark my word. I wouldn't put it past you, bro. Wouldn't put it past him to do that. Mickey Loomis is completely out of his mind, as this picture shows you. He's completely out of his mind. He's power drunk. People call it him being him, or I forgot what the term that they used, but I think he's drunk off the power. Yes, he's the VP and general manager. The entire Saints organization made him the top guy. He's been there for a long time in that role, and I think Sean Payton protected him for a long time in that role because he's not a real general manager. Put one in the chat if you heard me say that before. He's not a real general manager. And what you mean, Q? He's not a real general manager. That's why he gets fleeced by other general managers. He's a VP. He's holding the general manager position, away from guys that can actually do the job, like a Fontenot or a Kai, or a Harley. He's holding it. He's not a real general manager. He gets fleeced by other general managers all the time, but he refuses to give up that job, even though he has the VP job. Because of the power he represents, VPs don't come out and talk to the media all the time unless you're David Griffin, who's an attention whore. Mickey Loomis is an attention whore too. He loves the presence of the media asking him questions and him having that power to do that. Nobody's asking Mickey Loomis questions about the Saints. If there's a real general manager there, that they'll then go to the general manager. It's only with this organization and very few others where there's an issue with these people. Mickey Loomis is the VP and GM. David Griffin is the VP, but acts like a GM of the Pelicans. Now they have a whole brother over there who's the general manager after Trajan Langdon left, and you got this other brother, Bryson Graham, a whole general manager, NBA general manager there, but you never hear from him. And I told Bryce Graham when he took the job, bro, open up your. I ain't gonna even say that. That sounds suspect too. You can't say shit nowadays. Be heard, brother. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Be louder than that David Griffin guy. Be louder than that octopus over there. But this guy, man, is drunk off of power, and Gail Benson's a brand ambassador. Dennis Lauscher is a glorified treasurer, and they only respect dollars at the top. I've said that. So Mickey Loomis will stonewall you. And the best way, I'm not appealing to Mickey Loomis anymore. You can't appeal to a man that's not willing to hear the logic, that's acting emotional. This interview right here was total emotion. This is supposed to be a business, and you got this fool flailing away, talking about look beyond the whatever the hell he talking about. He's very thin-skinned. He's very petty. He's arrogant. He's a Dollar Tree elitist. And what I mean by that is he's just an employee, but he has this weird elitist mentality toward other people. And I've documented and said all of the weird shit that he says, like, you're not qualified. He said that twice. Oh, it's lazy and unsophisticated, when he was making reference to the media, asking him questions about the direction of the team and other things. I mean, y'all put it in the chat. Y'all know all the stuff we talked about. I done covered that. And he's not a real general manager, fam. So for true success to happen for the Saints organization, even when we do get rid of Dennis Allen, we must cut some kind of way the league. The organization must move Mickey Loomis off the general manager position. There is no firing of Mickey Loomis. He has two jobs. He has security. So if the general manager position don't work out, he's still the team vice president of football operations under Dennis Lauscher, which basically makes him the president of football operations, because Dennis Lauscher is not a president of football, nothing. He's a businessman that fosters business deals with the team, sponsorships and all this kind of stuff. So there's no football. There's really no football president of football operations on the field. Mickey Loomis is the highest guy with that in there. So he'll still have that position. Just the general manager will be the guy that'll be tasked with doing that. And I think Mickey would be a good VP because he's not a meddler. That's one thing. At least you can say a lot of crap about Mickey Loomis. He's one thing I can really appreciate about Mickey Loomis, and to a fault, that he's not a meddler. He's not a meddler. He will allow you to run the team. He will even run smoke for you, just like what happened with we covered this on Q with Big Q on our Patreon channel. Links in the description section below. We talked about how, the information came out quite recently. I broke down the report about the whole Bounty Gate scandal, that it was a smoke screen for the Viking and shit that was happening in the Saints organization. There was an investigation went on and found out. I covered all that, man. It was a bunch of BS and bunk. And they felt like that would be the better thing to do, as opposed to with the Viking and stuff was going on. And Mickey Loomis didn't know what was going on. The whistleblower brought it to him, and Mickey Loomis then said, "Oh, put a camera in there. Find out who's doing this." And then they went and put a camera in there, and they found out who was doing it. And then when the guy brought it back, Mickey Loomis ordered him to be quiet and to get rid of the tape. The guy came back out and blew the whistle on all that. So when he found out Peyton was involved, he covered it all up. So he'll even cover up scandals and illegal shit for you. Hold on now. Hey, that's why they call me Slick Mickey. Hold on. So yeah, anyway, I covered all that on Q with Big Q. So y'all want to listen to that report, please go to patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, the THE Pro Media Network. Sign up, it's there. And now this Saturday, I'll be doing some more reports, man. I'm like a 2-hour show. I'm be doing covering different topics. I'm releasing it in parts for our Patreon family members on Q with Big Q. A lot to talk about. But anyway, back to Saints stuff, man. I just want to open up the broadcast, not to annoy you about Mickey Loomis, but this is the counter, make people to keep this guy center stage of the clown show. And also, we're going to do some reacting here. But before we get into this, I wanted to cover this here piece. Shout out to the professor. He sent me this cut from Ireland. I mean, not from Ireland. I said Ireland. Jeff Duncan. I'm going to play a little bit of that. And then we'll get into the interviews from Klint, Kubiak, and Joe Woods. And also, we'll listen to the latest interview from Mickey Loomis that WWL's softball question throwing ass Mike Hoss had to throw out to Mickey Loomis. So we'll listen to that and react to that today as well. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. And as always, hit the like button, please. There's and feel free to vote. It's vote season. So vote in the chat. I promise you, we won't ridicule you here. Do you believe in Mickey Loomis as the general manager? Very easy. Please feel free to hit the chat up. Vote. Right now, we got almost 50 people voted. 94% of the people says no. And that's a simple question because, do you believe in Mickey Loomis? He's been here for a long time. Do you believe in him? Do you believe in him, his ability to turn the Saints from a 2-6 team around and make this a playoff team? Do you believe in his leadership? Because his belief and all of his experience, he's telling you, as crazy and back ass and as ridiculous as it sounds, he believes that Dennis Allen is a good coach. You heard him play it. Or you heard me play it. You heard him say it. He believes that. He believes Dennis Allen is a good coach. So if that's the case, he believes that Dennis Allen will right the ship, which means that we will get to the playoffs. This guy believes that. So with that being said, do you believe in his judgment? Saying that he got the good coach, he's going to fix it. We're going to turn it all the way around. All this is due to injuries. When we get healthy, we're going to start winning some games. This is Mickey Loomis' thought process. This is what he believes. So do you believe in what he believes in? Or do you believe in his judgment? That's what that question is in the chat. Please feel free to vote. All right. So anyway, man, shout out to you guys. Let's hit this up, man. We're going to go back to a few things right quick, but let's hit this injury report up tonight. 15 Saints on the injury report. Thursday injury report. We have one more for the week tomorrow. 15 Saints players listed on the Thursday injury report. Let's take a look. There you go. Marshawn Lattimore DNP'd for 2 straight days. That's not good. Hamstring issue, DNP Wednesday and Thursday. That's not good. Tyrann Mathieu had an illness. He fully practiced. That's good. Bub Means was DNP'd.
Look like Bubs is going to be out. Kendre Miller with the hamstring, he's going to be out. Rico Payton was also, he has some tightness with his back. He is DNP'd. Cedric Wilson returned for what? He was limited. He went DNP to limited. Derek Carr oblique was limited, which means, Derek Carr is going to start. Jawan Johnson fully practiced. That's good. Alvin Kamara limited, having, hand and rib issues. Y'all know what time that is. Kool-Aid McKinstry went from limited to DNP. Usually when that happens, they had a setback. That's not good. Nick DeVary limited. Jamal Williams had a groin. He was limited. Shane Lemieux is fully practiced. Nephi Sewell fully practiced, which is good. Glad to see Nephi Sewell getting on a plus side of things, and you never know, he might actually step in here because he's a good little special teams player too, and he can help us in the linebacker room too, coming back. But he hadn't played in a while, man, since last season. He got hurt at the end of the last season, and just back is getting back to form. And of course, John Ridgway, the massive defensive tackle we traded from the Washington Commanders, has an oblique issue. He was DNP'd. So the Saints have a lot of issue. 3 cornerbacks listed as DNP'd on the Saints' current Thursday report. It's not much to fret about right now because we'll see what Friday's report looking, but we usually 2 days of DNP for Marshawn Lattimore. It's probably going to end up not good. Kool-Aid McKinstry is also an issue too. So the Saints, that's what I was saying. Like when they talk about, getting players back and all this kind of stuff, this is a difficult season. At some point, some of the times the healthiest you're going to be is at the start of the year. And then as you move forward, and we know this better than most, don't we? We know this better than most because the reality is that you're going to see some problems. You're going to see some injury issues. You're going to see a lot of this stuff. So eventually you have to adapt, adjust, and keep it moving. We got to be able to work that practice squad. We got to be able to work that free agency period, and look around. We got to, if it's a trade that we can afford that will work, we got to work that as well. But you got to keep the team together with good players. It's the best that you can do. And that's what the thing is when we talked about that injury, that practice squad, like the practice squad's an extension of your active roster. If you can actually have that work that practice squad and have players set up, man, that's like what Philly was doing a couple of years ago. They had like a little factory. They was having issues. Then they'll have guys on that practice squad that they will cycle in and out of that because, you got your first teamers running with the first team. Obviously, the second team is operating, and those guys are getting reps in practice so that they're ready if something happens. And we were found out like about the situation with our backup offensive lineman, which was a concern out of the gate. Wasn't really truly comfortable with the backup offensive lineman. We talked about that in the training camp. We thought that the Saints, when the preseason ended and the regular season started, at that moment when people put a lot of their players in the street, that the Saints would be one of the teams that go and get a couple of those veteran linemen. That never happened. They said, no, we good with these guys, and you see how that turned out. But now that the injuries are hitting the Saints and you got Mark Scantlin that should play in this game, and I really caution the Saints, man, I don't know. I'm going to just leave it alone, man. They're going to have to figure that shit out on their own, man. We done gave them all kind of free advice. Now they can go ahead and do what the hell they need to do to fix it. All right. So anyway, man, shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. Yeah, I know, Joseph. You're right, bro. Boycott. Yeah, indeed. Ty says Falcons, Bucks are not worried all about this. He says not worried at all about. Of course not. Yeah, because they know as long as we have DA as our head coach, we ain't winning nothing. Absolutely, Ty. Absolutely. Thank you, fam. Appreciate the ones. What's up, Mondo? What's up, bro? Big ups, man. All right. Michael says, Big Q, why is the organization in denial about where they stand? It's not the organization, it's Mickey Loomis. And then the core point too is where's Gail Benson in here? Gail Benson, like I said before, and like I said all the time, Gail Benson is a brand ambassador. She goes to these different charity events, she hands out money, she collects money. And Gail just as long as everything's good like that, she can do that forever. But when stuff started getting hardcore, that's why I was saying when she came in, it's cool having who Tom Benson left, but it ain't been Tom Benson's team no more. He's gone. He don't care about what's going on here. He transitioned to hopefully a higher reality. A high hopefully. Hopefully he done went, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully he done went to the right place. You know what I'm saying? Hold on now. Hold on. You understand? Hopefully he went where he was supposed to go. But, he ain't worrying about it. He left her here. And she has to the thing is, she's still operating with the vision of a dead man. He's gone. That's like being married to somebody that passed on. You feel a certain kind of way. It's sad because if you've been with them for a long time, you got a connection there, and then that connection is broken, and it's something unique about that feeling because it's that eternal feeling like, you have a loved one that passes on. You never actually physically can see her or him or whomever. Like I'm thinking about my sister or my best friend. You never see them physically here, but when you get ready to go, you'll see them on that other side. But that link, is still there. And I kind of said here, it's like it's still Tom Benson's vision over the Saints, and that's not. She needs to have her own vision, and that's why I was saying that she need to hire people to come in the organization as an advisor, maybe two of them to her that know about football, somebody with impeccable credentials that can come in, an impeccable resume that can come in and advise her, because she's relying too much on Mickey Loomis and these other cats. And these other cats, as Tom Benson left, these other cats really feeling themselves. When Tom Benson closed his eyes and left, Sean Payton head got as big as the Goodyear blimp. Mickey Loomis really got out of control. These cats one time, because they was as quiet as church mice when Tom Benson was walking around there. It was quiet and church mice out there in that damn building, man. But the moment Tom Benson left, all of them heads swole up, big as the damn dome itself. They got cocky and arrogant. Tom Benson would slap the absolute piss out of Mickey Loomis for talking to people like he been talking. He wouldn't tolerate that kind of stuff. Tom Benson was a dude that was big on customer service. See, that's how he built his organizations, his car dealerships. That's how he became a phenom around the area. He was a local man that knew how to wheel and deal. A lot of those old timers knew how to wheel and deal. That's how they got this success. Look at like guys, great ones like Ronnie Lamarck, the car dealer, for all those years. Ronnie Lamarck knew how to wheel and deal. He knew how to talk to people. Copeland, who ran the chicken empire. Copeland knew how to talk. He was a little bit arrogant. He was flamboyant, but he knew how to talk to people. He knew how to deal with people. You can't pose like this, like you did something when you working that man shit. You an employee in his house and you acting like you something. You ain't nothing over there. So yeah, I definitely believe that, man. He wouldn't tolerate him talking reckless to people that's giving his organization money. He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't let him get away with that. That's how I know they done lost their way, man. But it's okay. We'll get them together. We'll get you together. We'll be the instrument for the universe to get you together. I promise you that we'll get you together. We'll get you together. So that's the whole thing. Mickey Loomis is he's jamming up everything. It's his vision. Like I started the broadcast. He really believes. That's why I played that stuff from Mickey Loomis. He really believes that Dennis Allen is a good coach and that Dennis Allen's going to fix the team. This dude really believes that. Regardless of what we think, that's what he believes. It's insane. Yeah, he said, Michael says he's the cap guy, not Harley Wild, the personnel people pick the players. Yeah, it's just crazy. What's up, Ashley? Shout out to my girl, Ashley. Big ups. Pelicans Nola says Q. Saints, send me an email there about tickets. You know what to send them back. Here's a survey. How are you satisfied with the state? With the certain status of the Saints? Oh yeah, you let them have it. Let them have it. Let them have it. Let them have it. All right. English says, hey, no, Q, no to Loomis. This organization, the team behave like an old man. It comes from the top. This is the guy. This is the problem for the team. What's up, OG? OG Jerry. Big ups to my brother Jerry, man. Mr. Savage says we almost as bad as the Jets. Hey, man, you're one game better than the Carolina Panthers. No disrespect to the Panthers, but it is what it is. You know, one game. Yeah, Michael, you got it. He says says Panthers, we are the worst in the NFL. Saints hold. Oh, my bad. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the thing, man. So, let's move forward, man, before we get into some of it, because I want to hear from it. You see on the thumbnail, it says disappointment. Well, this is his reckless face on there. Plus, he's not the only one that's disappointed. We know about Dennis Allen, but also like one of the biggest disappointments to me at this time. It could change. But right now, it's Klint Kubiak. I'm solely disappointed in Klint Kubiak. I'm really disappointed in Klint Kubiak, how bad this offense looks. Even when they got players back, the offense scored less points than it did the Denver game when they had guys hurt. Make it make sense. I'm sorely disappointed in Klint Kubiak. He was supposed to bring a very good system. He had the players to run said system. Even the backups was good enough to run said system, and he failed miserably to get these guys involved in offense. Jamal Williams is not even he's not even doing anything. And then Jamal Williams is there. Use him. You got Kendre Miller is not reliable. He's in and out of the lineup. They jumped Kendre over Jamal Williams. They jumped him over in the roster, and Jamal Williams is there. They don't even know how to use him. They didn't know how to use Jordan Mims. They didn't know how to use none of these guys. Then he tried to make Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, and thought he was obviously 6'4", 6'5" for him to be throwing up and throwing balls down there to him, forcing passes downfield to him. Like he was the guy that make 50-50 catches. Like, what's going on here? And then the laughable thing about this Cedric Wilson Jr. guy, what the hell is he doing here? What is he doing? I'm just completely lost about a lot of stuff that's going on with the Saints. But yes, I'm very disappointed in Klint Kubiak. He's the big Dennis Allen. Nah, not so much. Mickey Loomis, not so much. But Klint Kubiak had a good offense and players to run offense. And he is not, his major Achilles heel is that he can't adjust when his players get hurt. It's not an adjustment when you just over rely on your injured players. Taysom gets hurt, just put all of the stuff on Alvin Kamara. If Chris Olave gets hurt, just put all the stuff on Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed get hurt, divisor. Not get any of the other guys involved that you paying for in the offense. None of that. Just over rely on it. It just such a disappointment. So anyway, I got this tuned up with you, man. So listen to this, fam. This is from shout out to the professor sending me this video here. I had to chop it up for time interest, but this is Jeff Duncan and some of the crew from I don't know the man's show, but shout out to it's from NOLA.com show. It's good information there. Let me play this for y'all. Put one in the chat if y'all can hear that.
People saw them competing and losing on a field goal at the Horn. They've lost 3 games in a row by blowout margins. And I pointed this out in my column this week. It hasn't happened since the Ditka years of 1999, man. That's a quarter of a century. So I think people have just reached, a breaking point right now with the excuses that are coming out of Airline Drive. It just doesn't hold water anymore because they've seen it happen over and over now. I think Mickey, when I talk about being tone deaf, he keeps referencing that period of time when Sean Payton went 7-9 3 years in a row, and he stuck with him, he said, because he knew he was a good coach. The problem with that comparison is Sean Payton had already won a Super Bowl and gone to an NFC Championship game and demonstrated that he could lead an organization and win. Dennis Allen hasn't done that, and he hasn't even done that at his previous stop either. So there's no demonstrated ability in that head coaching role. And I think he's been patient. He's giving Dennis Allen the first year the latitude to overhaul the defensive staff. He's overhauled the offensive staff. He's brought in his own quarterback. He's given him, as a general manager, a lot of latitude to run the program. Get his people in there. And at some point, you got to see results, and we're not seeing it. It actually feels like it's getting worse, not better. The Saints haven't fired a coach midseason since 1980, Dick Nolan. And that includes Mike Ditka's final year in '99 when they were 3-13, and Jim Haslett's final year, 2005, when they were 3-13. So the team were even worse, and they waited till after the season. So we see kind of an organizational trend now. Even with the Pelicans, which is the other half of the building, they've waited organizationally to make those changes. The other factor that no one really ever brings up, and that's because coaching salaries are kind of private. They're not as well known. Now, I have yet to be able to validate this, but I think Dennis Allen, I've been told, was making $7 million a year. So previous years, there was no way the Saints were going to walk away and pay Dennis Allen 14. I think I'd heard his contract was 5 years. I'm not 100% sure if it was 4 or 5 years, but they weren't going to walk away and pay him $14 million to not work for them. That's not how they work. They don't do that in the Saints organization. So even if they walked away after this year, if it's a 5-year deal, he's still looking at getting paid millions of dollars to not work for the team, even though it would be offset if he gets a job somewhere else in the league. That fact, that matters in this organization. This isn't an organization that just throws money around like that. And I think that might frustrate fans, but
and Jeff Dunk is saying a lot of stuff on here, man. That's well known. Yeah, that's true about the Saints not putting garbage, shitty coaches in the street when they're supposed to, like the rest of the NFL does. When guys aren't doing what they're supposed to do, that's because the Saints were big, fat, and comfortable. Times have changed. People are no longer tolerating that. And he said he couldn't verify it, but there's a lot of coaches' contracts you could pull up on right now and pull up on the line and know how much they make. A lot of people. A lot of the coaches, you can figure out how much they're making, that their team reports the contracts of the coach. Even when they extend offers to them or extend their contract, they tell them the years and then the money behind it. So a lot of it's similar to the players. Like you'll get contracts, you'll get stuff from the players. You'll figure out what's going on with the players. What's interesting is I knew usually, and it's common sense, the reason why they elected not to share the contract details, and I've said this, I don't know how many times I've said this, so please forgive me, family, for all of the diehards, all of the day ones, day twos, and even the day threes that's been rocking with the Coma for a long time now. I've said this constantly, that the only reason why you would suppress the data on the contract, how much the contract is, the length of years, and have speculation out there is because the guy that you're giving the contract to, you're overpaying him. You're giving them too long a deal in terms of years. You're giving them too much money, and you don't want to be criticized by the family base or the support base for having such a stupid, erroneous deal as if it's 4 or 5 years at $7 million. That is not the average salary. They're paying Dennis Allen way too much money, that is. And he doesn't have a resume for that. How you paying this clown, this moron, this chump, this simpleton, this possum face fellow here, all this kind of money, and he has zero resume as a head coach? The hell with a defensive coordinator. We're talking resume as a head coach. How many championships does he have? Nothing. How many playoff victories does he have? Nothing. He has nothing. He's a bottom. He's one of the worst. He's probably the worst coach in the NFL in terms of just being a head coach. To hell with the defense. I'm talking about head coach means a guy that has control and dominion over his entire team. That's offense, defense, and special teams. When stuff is going awry, he knows what to do. He steps in there and makes the commands, does things, and sees that his offensive coordinator is losing ground. He steps in to correct the ship, which coincidentally, that's what the general manager is supposed to do when he sees his coach over his head. He's supposed to step in and exert some power, not stand up and make excuses and get mad at people for criticizing a shitty product on the field, and you're the inventor of it. Insane. But that's how it goes. That's how gaslighting go. Everything is your fault and not theirs. Well, the reason why you're upset because, you're upset, right? Because you're not patient enough. You're not dedicated enough. You're not a really diehard. Some people they'll get gaslighted by that. They'll fall for that propaganda, that bullshit. They'll go for that. Nothing is in this society. The even goes down to pollution of the planet. The biggest polluters of the planet are the corporations that make the stuff. There is no bigger polluter. You riding around in some SUV thinking you tearing up the place. You go get in a cereal box driving around, think you doing something. They don't. Good grief. The thing about it is the people that's polluting the planet are the corporations, the Fortune 500s that produce the products. They're not giving you the real tech that work with the planet because they will lose money. These cars that you're talking about, the batteries, the lithium battery is extremely dangerous, and they are really horrible for the planet. The problem is stop believing the bullshit and do real research, and don't be a chump to the propaganda like what these people pushing. That's part of the game, man. It's one bullshit crap after lie and filth and garbage after another. Everything is not, it's not their fault, it's your fault. You need to have more support. You're not, even the people that says the truth and says, well, you need to be more positive. How is the family base being more positive going to help the Saints on the field? How's that going to do? Because you could be positive as hell and go up in there and spend all your money up, and then that won't help Dennis Allen. They still lose the game. They still miss the playoffs. You could be 100%, 1,000,000% positive. But it's a balance to this. You can't be totally one way here and one way there. You got to operate with balance all throughout life. And the Saints aren't doing that. They're ignoring, Mickey Loomis, that is ignoring the product on the field and pretending like the product on the field is a good product. It is not a good product. This product is a result of him not doing what he's supposed to do and choking the life out of the organization by not allowing other people to rise up in the ranks, to bring youth and imagination and energy into the organization. Is jammed up and dammed up when it gets to him. He's not a leader. He's more VP than general manager, and he's sitting on the general manager position because he's an attention whore. He has this reputation, and that's because of Sean Payton. He would not have that if it wasn't for Sean Payton. He was an expensive gopher who got whatever Sean Payton wanted him to do. And now that Payton's out of the way, he could even pick the right coach. And now that you got this guy here, you want to sit up here and pretend that the guy is Sean Payton and Bill Belichick and Walsh and all these other guys with zero resume. You can't do that. That was a really insane and back-ass way of trying to explain to people about Hall of Fame coaches and putting Dennis Allen there. Dennis Allen can't wash them dudes' shoes. Dennis Allen, anybody could look at Dennis Allen and see that this man is not a head coach of the team. And look how he's losing his team. Right now, the players saying they're tired of being losers and they're having player-only meetings, which is, and shout out to Duncan. He did mention that. We talk about all these things on the Sports Coma because we don't cover it. I'm not covering it like everybody. I cover it like with logic, and I spin it all around. I look at it from different angles, and I keep it real deal, man. I don't placate to nobody. I don't care if it's my team or not. I've been saying that. If it's my team and they out here screwing up, I'm going to slam them. And if they're doing what they're supposed to do, I'm going to give them props. But I'm going to be consistent no matter what I do. Like it or lump it. Being a true supporter of the team is not being a dumbass who continue to fill their coffers of money regardless of them disrespecting you by putting an inferior product on the field. We don't operate like that. Maybe that's what people did, and they did that back in the day. Even some people, the old school people, shut that shit down after a while. They really did. They wasn't playing that BS. They shut that shit down, man. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, all we can do as an organization, as a team, is to be doing what we're doing now, which is to continue to keep this smoke on these goddamn people. Shout out to you, B. Frank. I see you, fam. Keep this smoke on their ass. That's all I can say. Keep that smoke for their ass. But anyway, yeah, but this is something that I just wanted to share with y'all on that. But give me a second. I'm going to kind of play this other interview that I got timed up. This is the latest one from Mickey Loomis that was done via what's his name, Jeff Duncan. And we'll listen to this, and this is what he had to say about the team. And it's like, people, he's lost. No, he's delusional. He believes that Dennis Allen is the answer. for the team, and he's willing to do that. And the thing is, you got to have vision, understand, and the ability to be able to forecast a bit and to be able to look down the line and see if they have what it takes to break out of this thing. Because if you sitting here wasting all this time, you wait too long and the team continues to lose, your window is going to close because they don't have any error. They done lost 6 games in a row. They're going to have to when you lose 6 games in a row, you're going to have to win. You got to go on a winning streak to catch up. You can't lose to Atlanta. You got to beat Carolina and Atlanta. So the next several games, they got Carolina, Atlanta, Jameis and the Browns, and then bye week. Then they come off the bye week. They got the Rams. They got the Packers. They got the who else they got? They got the Packers. They got the Raiders. They got Bucks at the end of the year, and there's somebody else in there I'm missing. Oh yeah, the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. So they got some teams, man, on the back end, man. Giants too. The Giants are in there too somewhere. So the Saints have some teams they got to play. But if you can't run the football, you can't stop the run, how you gonna win games? You got to run the ball and you got to stop the run. And the Saints are not doing that right now. All right, what's up, T Mama? Shout out to the Queen, T Mama. Shout out to Barbara. Shout out to the Queens, man. Big ups to you. What's up, Japanese Hercules? Look beyond the results. That's what that old slick Mickey said. Oh, line now. Look beyond the results. You guys, let me tell you something. Oh, you goddamn guys. All this stuff here. I'm telling you, I believe in Dennis Allen. He's a good coach. That's what he said. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Well, y'all know what y'all got to do. All right. Anyway, let's listen to him. Here go Mickey Loomis. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear this.
And welcome to the Saints Hour. Mike Hoss, along with Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. And the record is what it is, 2-6, tough loss. And so it becomes like a 9-game season, right? You just look at these 9 games and probably see what happens. But, it's going to dictate futures.
Well, I think that you can kind of get lost in when you and overwhelmed when you start thinking about 9 games. I think for us, and this is true, winning or losing, you got to worry about this week. And it's a cliche, but it's just true. We got to worry about when you.
And so, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Saints Hour. Mike Hoss, along with Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. And the record is what it is, 2-6, tough loss. And so it becomes like a 9-game season, right? You just look at these 9 games and probably see what happens. But, it's going to dictate futures.
Well, I think that you can kind of get lost in when you and overwhelmed when you start thinking about 9 games. I think for us, and this is true, winning or losing, you got to worry about this week. And it's a cliche, but it's just true. We got to worry about handling our business this week, and then the next week, and the next week, and all the rest of it takes care of itself.
And football, not like every sport, but you can do 7 of 10 things pretty well. And, you can look at that stat book from the Charger game, and it's evenly matched in a lot of places. But the explosive plays, which has played, this is not the first time we've had this question, but the explosive plays are really have been such damaging and negative, impactful.
What did Mike Hoss just prattle off and say? What's wrong with Mike Hoss, man?
Yeah. Look, I think I always do this. You watch these games and you try to look at them through a lens of independence. So let's call it that.
A lens of independence. Whoa, okay. Explain, Mickey. Oh, you got a hold on now. Wow. Hold on. We got to look at these games through a lens of independence. Never heard him use that phrase before. Expound, Loomis.
There were some good things in the game that we did better than we had done the previous weeks, and yet there was a couple things that were similar. And giving up a couple of explosive plays was one of them. I think penalties really hurt us on offense. We moved the ball and then cross the 50, get into a scoring opportunity, and boom, we get a penalty. And next thing you know, it's it's 2nd and 15 or 2nd and 19, 3rd and 15. And look, we don't have enough of a margin for error offensively right now to compensate for that. And that hurt us. I think this too. I think we had some missed opportunities relative to defense. And let's give credit where credit's due here. The quarterback made some big time plays. That's what safety, and I don't know how they got that ball away right on the numbers. They didn't catch it, and we got off the field. But getting off the field isn't the same as getting a safety or a sack fumble in that circumstance. And we had an opportunity to do that. And there was a couple of other opportunities for big plays that we didn't make. And we just currently don't have that kind of margin for error, with the younger players that we're playing with.
Here's my lens of what he said, lens of independence or whatever the hell he said. Some crap he just made up out of the blue. My lens of independence says that the Saints offense has been stinking for quite a while. And it's a thing that we talk about all the time about carrying water. If you work for a company and you have other coworkers at the company and people in the department in which you work aren't doing their job, right? That usually falls, and it's in many cases, some cases, that work, if they're not doing that work probably going to fall on you. So you end up doing your share and somebody else's share because they slacking or they missing time, whatever the case may be, it impacts you. It's similar to what's going on with the Saints. All three aspects of the team have to play as a cohesive unit for success to happen. That's the great difficulty of team sport. And the greatest coaches succeed because they're galvanizers of people, because all of these guys are not made in a lab somewhere. They all come from their own unique, separate environment. And then you have to take these players from all walks of life, from all over the planet, and all different coaching schemes or whatever they came from. A guy might have came from a different system than what you have, and you bring all of them together. And then you as a coach you have to have that great attribute to be able to galvanize this talent. You would have to be able to speak everybody's language, not just uniformity, but you have to be able to speak each different person's language to reach them at their separate individual knowledge level and wherever they are in their development. You will have to do that as a head coach, or as one as your assistant guys. So that's one of the things that makes you see these great coaches, some of the greatest coaches of all time, have those unique attributes where they could be able to speak the language. And not only that, but take their vision that they have for the team and put it inside the heart and the mind of their players. All that while being totally accountable that nobody's better than nobody else using their team concept, and not fracturing your team with off-court behaviors like taking Jake Haener and making him a buffer guy so that you can keep Rattler as far as you can away from Derek Carr, because people like Rattler, and if Carr throws interceptions, they could be called for Rattler from the stands. So you try to protect that soft code. Stuff like what you were doing to players that were talking about the losing in the locker room. You try to make them be the issue of the team. Michael Thomas and Marshawn Lattimore, and even at times Alvin Kamara. Like, they're the issues because they're speaking up about how messed up this team is. They're the issues. Doing off-code behavior like that won't work. Good coaches don't backstab. Good coaches are moral. They understand how to talk to people and deal with people. That's unfathomable that Mickey Loomis, as the general manager, doesn't see those attributes, in a good coach, especially they're not in Dennis Allen. How are you looking at Dennis Allen and say he's a good coach? Dennis Allen is a decent defensive coordinator, because I can't even give him that right now because his defense falling through the floor. And it's all about that carrying water thing. The reason I bring that up is simple. The offense is not carrying this water. The offense is not scoring any points. The offense is not keeping the ball movement. The offense is not putting up long drives to sustain the defense so they can rest and get back out there and handle their business. They're not doing that. So a lot of the pressure is falling on the Saints defense. And guess what? The Saints defense can't handle the weight. They're banged up. There's a lot of there's a lot of older guys there. The depth is not as deep as you want it to be. Guys are hurt. So you have issues there. So they at some point the defense can't carry the water for you. Offense, you got to get up off your ass. If you're getting a check, you're getting paid every game. They get after every game, these guys get direct deposits to their bank accounts. After every game, they get a game check. They get a down payment. They get a direct deposit payment. All of them do. Win, lose, or draw, they get the payment. So you're getting paid, but the thing is, you're not performing. So it took 6 games to get to a point where people are in a state of team meetings now, when it shouldn't have took 6 weeks. It should have took at least 2 to 3. When you're in a 3-game slot, you're like, oh, hell no, because we're in the 3rd year of another 9-12 year possibly. That's the thing. Carrying of the water. We can't have the offense not doing this job. We know you got a young quarterback in there, but still in all, you got to run the ball. We got to be fundamental. If we can't run the ball, we won't win. If we can't stop the run, we won't win. That's just facts. So, all this kind of stuff, what he talking about, he just running down a summary he got from NFL.com or whatever about what they did. I know we already know what they did, Loomis. We sat up here and watched them do it. We even watched some of these games 2 or 3 times. We doing film work. I watched it 2 or 3 times. So I know what they did. Why are they doing it? And what are you going to do to stop it? That's what I want to know. I don't need you to give me a recap of
Taysom Hill back, Cesar Ruiz, and some others, but you could really feel the impact of getting a Taysom back and Cesar. But Spencer and Jake held the reins, and now what of kind of an impact? And Dennis said that they do expect Derek to be practicing Wednesday, so getting Carr back is a pretty significant cog in this machine.
Oh my God. What's wrong with Mike Hoss? Is he sick? That was, I don't know what's going on with that. He was just fumbling all over the place with that. I don't know. Hope like Mike Hoss all right, man. He might be tired or something. Get you some rest, man. Stop being such a brown noser. Take your nose out of where it belongs and ask the damn question. Stop biting your tongue and keep it real. Anyway, this is the thing, man. We seen it when I picked them to lose last week's game on the preview. That was the Thursday prior to that Sunday game. I did that because even though I knew they were getting players back, it's not always plug and play. Guys have to be able to, once they get there, get back in the system. A lot of these guys missed a lot of time. Lucas Patrick, I've been looking at Lucas Patrick on film. Lucas Patrick looks terrible. He don't know who he blocking that time, and he's slow getting out to block people. He looks terrible. He gets pushed down. One time, Elvin Kamara was trying to hit the hole. The hole's open and closed. Most of the time, they're not even there because the offensive lineman is not shedding the defensive lineman to get to the next level to stop the linebacker. They're not even doing that correctly. That's why all the running plays look disjointed. They're not a cohesive unit, even though they're practicing all the time and having multiple practices daily, and then into the weekend you have these practices, dozens of practices over time. We should be able to see some form of cohesion, even though you're not playing or starting next to that player. You still are running the same plays on a scout team where you be able to get there and you understand your assignment. And if the other guy knows what his assignment is, these one-on-one assignments of what he needs to do, then we should have some success there. It shouldn't look as disjointed as what it was. But yeah, you got Cesar Ruiz back. You got Taysom Hill back. You got Lucas Patrick back. You got some of these other guys back. And what good it did. The offense did not score a touchdown. It was 2 field goals and a safety. The special team scored all of the points. At least against Denver, they had it was 10 points put up. How you go with a mini bye and all this extra time, you get 4 starters or whatever it was back and you score 8 points. How you go back in points? How does that work? With the starters coming, you would think, hey, man, we about to do some shit. We about to tear it up. No, hold on, pump your brakes. So that don't guarantee success, because I knew it. I was like, man, it's not just, you look at the same, like even Cesar Ruiz on some of those plays, like toward the back end of the game, Cesar gave up the sack. He got beat badly. And you've seen that happen with Lucas Patrick getting beat badly. Just getting beat badly. Guys beating them with swim moves, terribly beat. I seen one where I think that was Khalil Mack. Poe Foster Moreau called himself trying to block Khalil Mack. And Khalil Mack, y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember this move because we covered it on Patreon. Khalil Mack put a move on Foster Moreau, and Foster Moreau went to block him. And it's almost like somebody went behind Foster Moreau and pushed him down. And he went to block Khalil Mack, and Khalil, he got nothing but air. I'm like, what? So it's incredibly insane, to just think just because these guys come back, you fit them in there, it's gone. It's a systemic blocking issue the Saints have. They are not running the ball, family. They had 100-something odd yards in this game, but it didn't work in league with the passing attack. Like, they got a couple of runs that helped. They had 100 yards rushing. The crazy part about it is the offense was so disjointed. The running attack didn't work with the passing game. And the reality is because they could not convert on third downs. When they got into third downs, the Saints was like 2 for 3 for 16 or something like that. When they got on third down, they couldn't convert. So even if you had positive plays on 1 or 2, when you got in a third down scenario, the Saints couldn't convert the third down. So even though they got 100-some odd yards, it didn't work in league where they got to play action to be able to convert on third downs. Only the Saints can run 100 yards in a game after I don't know how many games they're not getting it and still not put up a touchdown and go backwards in production, go 3 for 16 or 2 for 6, or whatever the hell it was in the matchup, and run for 100 and not get no touchdowns and go backwards, go from 10 to 8. That's unreal. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's huge when you have a veteran quarterback that has played well for us versus young rookies. And look, I'm
what
in this machine.
Young rookies.
Yeah, that's huge when you have a veteran quarterback that has played well for us versus young rookies. And look, I'm really bullish on Spencer and Jake both. I think they did some really good things. But they're rookie players that are going to have things they don't have to be perfect, but things have to kind of fit into place for them. Whereas a veteran quarterback can solve some problems that occur on the fly that more readily than a rookie player can do.
Let me tell you something, man. That's a crock of shit. And I'm going to be honest with you about it. Spencer Rattler and even Jake Hayner went out there and did the best that he can do. But I promise you that if the Saints, if they had been able to, because you look at on some of these third down plays, the foolishness that happened on these third down plays, if the Saints offensive line did a better job there in terms of helping out on those thirds and all this kind of stuff, you've seen those guys making passes, throwing passes, and wide receivers dropping the ball, not helping them. They made the throws. Derek Carr would look the same way without a running attack. He wouldn't feel comfortable back there behind that offensive line. We've seen that before. Even when the Kansas City game, when he got a little pressure in his face, he just threw the ball up for an interception. So, I mean, Derek Carr doesn't know the offense like that well enough where he's going to go in there and win football games for you. So I wouldn't kind of say Derek Carr is going to come in here and win the football game. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's been in the league for 11 years, but we talking about the current system that he's operating right now. He needs every advantage. He needs all of the blocking to happen, just like those rookie quarterbacks did. They need the blocking of the offensive line. They need receivers to catch the ball. And Derek Carr, like I said, man, Derek Carr needs the same thing. You can't put Carr, we're going to get Carr in there, Carr going to win a game. Carr hadn't played football for the Saints in the last 3 weeks. He's going to be rusty as hell. Let's be real. He's going to be rusty as hell getting there. He hadn't played in 3 weeks. And the fact of the matter is he doesn't know the offense like that to be able to go in there and start cutting shit up. The same plays that were running for Spencer Rattler, you'll see him running for Derek Carr. Like the pass when it's an already pre-snap play where the quarterback don't have to do anything and he just turns, looks, and fires the ball down the line of scrimmage to Alvin Kamara. We've seen that play. That's an extended run play. We've seen set up for Spencer Rattler. We've seen Jake Hayner operate that play. We've seen that. We've seen rollout plays when they roll out Spencer or they roll out Hayner, We've seen them where they do rollout plays for Derek Carr to shrink the field down so that Derek Carr has a better option of reading to go to depending on what side he's rolling to. They use rollout plays, same plays for Carr. And Klint Kubiak said as much when he was rolling out Spencer Rattler in these previous games that he was going to have full access to the playbook. Klint Kubiak said that. So Derek Carr needs everything these young guys need, despite the fact that he's been in the league for 11 years. He still doesn't know this offense well enough. He needs a running attack, and he needs guys to block and catch. That's what they need. So I wouldn't put too much on Derek Carr because he's coming back, man. I really wouldn't. Don't put too much on his shoulders, bro.
Talked last night with Coach Allen. Bobby talked about, hey, where are the next stars coming from? Who's going to be the next Cam Jordan, the next Demario Davis? And maybe it's too soon for some, but where do they come from?
Yeah, look, I heard that. It's a good question. I think though that we have to make sure that we understand the history of Cam and Demario, because those are the two players he cited. If you look at Cam's career, he came to us in 2011, and the first 4 years of his career, cumulative, he had 118 tackles, and he had 29 sacks after 4 years. He actually made the Pro Bowl at the end of his third year, one time. The next 4 years, actually.
Pardon me, but wasn't the question was where does the next Cam Jordans or wasn't it a future related question? Allow me to kind of go back on that.
Cumulative, he had to
Demario Davis
on the fly that more readily than a rookie player can do.
Talked last night with Coach Allen. Bobby talked about, hey, where are the next stars coming from? Who's going to be the next Cam Jordan, the next Demario Davis? And maybe it's too soon for some, but where do they come from?
Who the next player?
Look, I heard that. It's a good question. I think though that we have to make sure that we understand the history of Cam.
Listen, bro, we know Cam's history. We know Cam Jordan's history. The question was politician Mickey. Online. That's a great question. Online. And I'll tell you, I heard what he said. Well, first, before I answer that question, Cam Jordan is a great community guy. He's a good player. He's been here for a decade. And he makes good jokes, and his eyes buck. When he's talking, he's really insightful. We got to understand the history of him. No, excuse me, Mickey. The question was, where's the next Cam Jordan and all these other guys? It's a future question about who are the next players that'll be brung up through the organization, the next young stars. Why do we have to understand the history of Cam Jordan? Because the reality is Mickey doesn't have an answer for this question.
And Demario, because those are the two players he cited. If you look at Cam's career, he came to us in 2011.
We know.
And the first 4 years of his career, cumulative, he had 118 tackles.
We know.
And he had 29 sacks after 4 years. He actually made the Pro Bowl at the end of his third year.
We know.
One time. The next 4 years, actually years 7, 8, 9, and 10, he had 160 tackles compared to 118 tackles. He had 48 sacks in those 4 years compared to 29 sacks. He made the Pro Bowl 4 times.
We know.
He was All Pro 3 times, All NFL a number of times. So what I would say is that in his first 4 years, he was considered a good player. It was those years that he became and was recognized as a great player. And if you look at Demario's career, you'd see exactly the same thing. His first 4 years, he had 7 sacks. He had 332 tackles. He had 1 interception. He had 8 passes defense. It was good player, solid. Didn't have any honors during that time. In years 7, 8, 9, and 10, he had 18 sacks compared to 7. He had 475 tackles compared to 332 tackles. He had the same number of interceptions, 1, but he had 24 passes defense compared to 8, and made All Pro first team twice in years 9 and 10 for him. So
Okay.
I would say the same thing. He went from being a good player, recognized as a good player in his first 4 years, to becoming a great player in years 7 through 10. So, the expectation that we're going to have these guys come in here in years 1, 2, and 3 and be great players is probably, for the most part, a little unrealistic. Now, we've got a ton of players that are 4 years or less that I think can get to that level in their next 4 or 5 years. Paulson Adebo and Brian Brazy and Tali Fuaga and Kool-Aid McKinstry, Crystal Lavi's on that path. We're high on Spencer Rattler. Both these quarterbacks, like I told you, Cesar Ruiz, Rashid Shaheed, Alante Taylor, Pete Werner, Chase Young. So there's lots of
Chase
guys
Young's
that are
after
candidates
this
to
year.
become those type of players. Will they all do that? No. That would be unrealistic to expect that. But certainly we have a lot of guys, and there's others as well,
Okay, cool.
that have that opportunity.
We'll have more.
All right, so listen, he didn't really answer the question. He just does what he do because he doesn't have any answers. He just started prattling on about names, about people. First of all, Paulson Adebo is going to be a free agent. Chase Young is going to be a free agent after this year. The Saints are dealing with limited resources to sign any of these people. And even if Paulson Adebo do give you a little deal on him, it's still going to be a pricey contract. Chase Young is give you a deal, but what do you do there? It's a bunch of guys. Willie Gay Jr. is on a 1-year deal. And a year from now, you got Chris Olave's contract's going to be due. A couple of years from now, Rashid Shaheed's coming back to the table because it wasn't really he gave a 2-year extension or something. What the question is, the young stars, the guys that you draft, who are those next guys? Foskey was seen as a Cam Jordan type. Foskey came out of the University of Notre Dame as one of the top sackers in all of college football. He was the top sack. Matter of fact, if I'm correct in going into my memory, Isaiah Foskey, who I affectionately call Foskey the Snowman, and Molly Mall calls him Foskey the slow man. the slow man. All I'm saying, man, is that there are guys the Saints have drafted that hadn't turned out. Now, it's too early to talk about Tali. Tali does look good right now, but it's too early. Trevor Penning is in his 3rd year. He's a former first-round draft pick. He's playing in his 3rd year, his first full season of playing football. You have guys that haven't developed, like Nick Saldiveri, who can't stay healthy, who the Saints picked up. And A.T. Perry, another guy that they picked later on in the draft. A.T. Perry was put in the street. Kool-Aid McKinstry is a good prospect. Still waiting to see. Jordan Howden's a guy that he looked good in his first year. He's still a young player developing. So it's the development of these players that we've not seen do anything. Peyton Turner is a first-round draft pick. Marcus Davenport was first-round defensive ends. They took those guys. Davenport there, and then later on they took Peyton Turner. These guys were supposed to replace Cam Jordan. These first-round draft picks were supposed to replace Cam. Carl Granderson, an undrafted guy out of Grand Valley State, became the big money guy. He outplayed the first-round draft picks, the high picks. He outplayed them. They brought Chase Young in here and got him on a very lucky deal because they got him only if Chase Young was healthy, the Saints wouldn't have gotten Chase Young. He would have signed with Carolina. Let's just keep it all the way funky. The only reason Chase is here is because Carolina and other teams, they didn't want to take a chance on that back surgery that he had. And it just so happened that the Saints, it worked for them because he was dealing with all these issues. These Carolina Panthers didn't want to risk it. So when they just let him go, the Saints picked him up and it worked out. It actually worked in the Saints' favor, was getting Chase Young. But that usually doesn't happen. You got a guy that people didn't think would be healthy enough to contribute right away. And we end up sticking with him because of, the contract. He gave him what he want and kind of put out the language in the agreement for Chase Young. Credit to him doing this thing. He still needs, we still have to see him get home with most sacks. Brian Bresee looks good. His pass rushing ability, he got to work on his run stuffing ability, but he should be starting over Nate Shepherd. I've been saying, why is Nate Shepherd? Nate Shepherd it doesn't look good at all in there. Then it should have, the last draw for me was when he tried to twist that quarterback's leg like that. That was some dirty shit. And Nate Shepherd is more of a reserve defensive tackle. And I said that when they picked him up, I was like, this guy should be a reserve. So Brian Bresee should be ahead of that because he got the power. He's a first round draft pick. So you got to see those guys and first round picks get them reps. But at the end of the day, man, you look at guys like Rashid Shaheed. He was an undrafted guy, that stepped up and did his thing. But all these other guys is just not working, man. The young talent of the team is not getting to that point. I do like certain guys like Anthony Orji. I like Orji. I like Sewell, who's getting healthy. I like those young guys. I like Rico Payton. I like those undrafted guys. But them undrafted guys are cut from a different cloth than some of these other guys because they understand the fragility of the situation they in, because they understand at any given moment, if they don't perform, the team could just get from up under them, as opposed to some of these draft picks that have some degree of security. So I get that. But at the same time, the man asked him about players like Cam Jordan, who's the next Cam Jordan on the Saint team that the Saints have drafted. And that's the point. They have not been hitting on these draft picks, and Mickey Loomis doesn't take accountability for that either. He just moved right beyond it. And Mike Hoss let him
Video Network. We are talking with Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. Have you seen enough change of late? I'm talking about during the losing streak, because it's if you kind of don't make some changes and kind of expect different results, right? So you've seen enough change through this, and obviously a lot of it was getting players back, from that standpoint.
Mike must be putting something in his coffee or something. His questions aren't as sharp as they usually are. Very fumbling, jumbling type of questions he's asking. He's kind of filling in for him, and just ask him the question. What change you talking about? They're on a 6-game losing streak. What change you talking about? You getting players back? It's no change. We see it as the defense started off with energy, but the offense hasn't. The offense is disappointing. The offense is not moving the ball consistently. They're not buying enough time for the defense to rest, and it just is all disjointed and messed up. So what changed? What changed? Let me hear this.
Well, I think, look, you have to. Whenever you have results that don't match your expectations, you have to look at the underlying reasons why, right? And look, I
thought you're supposed to look beyond the results.
We have answers for lots of things. We have answers when we have, players get hurt. We have answers when you lose your quarterback for a couple games. I don't know that I have answers when you have an avalanche of injuries. And
the answer is to go get more players from the practice squad, from free agency, and if you got to trade, that's the damn answer.
And you lose your quarterback.
You got backup quarterback, bro. Nobody told you to get 2 inexperienced quarterbacks to be backups for a quarterback that got hurt before.
That period of time, that's just difficult, and we haven't been able to overcome that. We've played some good teams too, as well.
You had to schedule months in advance. You knew who you was going to play.
So we're getting some players back. That's a good sign. I think our players have played really hard. I think they're accountable. I don't see a lack.
They're not accountable. If you look at the tape, they're missing blocks. Guys don't know who they blocking. Guys getting slow to blocks. Guys dropping passes. Guys not doing what they're supposed to do. Hence, that's why they're losing. The offense team is disjointed. What are you talking about?
Of effort. I don't see a lack of want to. I don't see
a lack of want to. The effort is everything. They're not playing with any intelligence consistently.
A lack of accountability.
There's plenty of lack of accountability. You're the key chief of it. You're the chief of unaccountability. And
I think we all recognize that. Look, in the circumstance, we have to coach better. We have to play better. We have to do our jobs better in terms of the front office.
Same front office that's not doing anything. They're not making any trades. I've already pinpointed and told the family members about the Kansas City Chiefs, who currently are an undefeated team. That didn't stop the Chiefs from going out and getting Hopkins. That didn't stop the Chiefs from going out and get that linebacker from New England to improve their defense. They're dealing with injuries too. Hell, one of their top people got hurt. Did that stop them from going and make trades to improve upon the team? What are you talking about? All the things you're saying is within the power to do, and this is why the team is suffering, because instead of going out there and seeing and really being aggressive, hitting practice squads from other teams to find players to bring on, not only bring it. See, if you got a 6-game losing streak, family, that's supposed to be a revolving door of people coming in and here and out of here. That means these bum ass guys got to get out of here, because obviously they collecting a check, they're stealing money. You got guys that can't even block one-on-one. They losing one-on-one matchups repeatedly over weeks at a time, which means that player is not at the level that we need our players to be. So you get your ass out of here. We appreciate your services. You got paid on time. Hasta la vista. Don't let the dough hit you where you know the term. And then we got somebody else coming in here. That's what we got to do. When you're facing a 6-game losing streak, you got to have a revolving door of talent from pilfering people from other practice squads across the NFL, signing free agents that's available out there that fit what you got going on. And even if you have to make some trades. They have 3 things that they can do to improve upon this team, as opposed to sit up here and talk about excuses about, well, quarterbacks. Nobody told the Saints to keep 2 inexperienced quarterbacks if Derek Carr got hurt. Nobody told them to do that. Nobody told them to put Jameis in the street. Nobody told them to do none of that. Now you're going to sit up here and try to spin it as an excuse? You did.
The training room, the strength and conditioning room, all of us have to buckle up, and we have to, do better. And that's not anything. Look, I'm not talking about this specifically, but there are specific things inside our building that we're doing to try to overcome this losing streak.
Please expound and tell us what you're doing.
Don't know at this point because Andy Dalton's got an injured hand. Whether the
Hall should have delved into that, man.
Be Andy or Bryce, and maybe in 2 weeks it looks like it'll be Jameis Winston. So you got your former quarterbacks. And I remember last year in the Monday night game at Carolina, Andy Dalton would stand next to the defensive coordinator when your offense was on the field. But yet now it's such a different offense. I can't imagine they would have the impact of knowing what they know of this team than maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think there's some truth to that. In that, Andy had been part of the system that we ran last year, and we have a different system this year. So that's probably true. I also think that impact is a little bit overrated. Because we have players that everybody has players from other teams, and you get some information, about personnel, about the way they like to do things. But I think oftentimes that's overrated.
A little later in the show,
if it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't do it, man. That's a common technique that teams do when they pilfer talent, when they bring people from other places here. They do it all the time. It's a way to steal game from them. They kind of espouse out on tendencies that the team to give inside baseball. It's like having somebody that was there. Then you bring them in weeks before you play them, and then they are a week before you play them, and then they give you game about what's happening with the team. That works. If it didn't, then they wouldn't do it.
Having Mason Tipton on, he's another undrafted free agent. I know you guys loved his speed, but he's been impactful, right? I mean, he's had 22 targets, 14 receptions, just shy of 100.
Mason Tipton. How is Mason Tipton a topic to ask Mickey Loomis on a 6-game losing streak, Mike Hoss? How does this make sense? Why? And I like Mason Tipton. I advocated for the Saints picking him up. But why are we talking about Mason Tipton right now? The Saints are under a 6-game losing streak right now. Dennis Allen has lost the team. The team is talking about doing player-only meetings. You sit up here asking the man about Mason Tipton. What kind of stupid-ass shit this is?
Yards, but I think he's only had 1 game where he didn't have a target. So just kind of your assessment of him coming out of Yale.
Yeah, look, he's undrafted free agent out of Yale. We loved what he did during training camp. He made the team. Listen, based upon his performance in training camp.
That's what happened when you hire a reporter to interview you. The Saints pay this guy. So he never gonna ask the tough questions. And even the tough questions that he thought was tough, he was fumbling over the questions to get it to Mickey Loomis because he didn't want to piss him off, because he didn't want Mickey Loomis to get upset and put his ass on the street, I guess. Still in all, even though you work for him, it don't mean that you're not a man, that you ain't supposed to do your job and represent the Who-Dats and ask the questions that needs to be asked. Mickey Loomis hides from everybody else. He ain't gonna come on the Sports Coma and ask the questions from me because he don't want to be showed up. He lets softball reporters or people talk to him. You know, he's not going to expose himself to a tough press. He's not going to do that. He's not going to expose himself to people that's asking real questions. This dude asked him about Mason Tipton. The team is currently under a 6-game losing streak. There are player-only meetings being called out. Dennis Allen don't know. Looks like a lost possum. And this idiot sitting up here asking him, what do you think about Mason Tipton?
You know, he's a really smart player. You said it. He's fast. He can do a lot of things. And yet, you know, we've had to throw him in the fire here because of injuries sooner than we would like to. And so there's a little bit of learning on the fly. You know, everything's a new experience for him. And there's some growing pains with that. But look, I like this guy. We all like this guy as a prospect and love a lot of the things that he's been doing and see a bright future for him.
How is Mason Tipton a question?
Next Tuesday, Election Day, also the trade deadline day, just from a process standpoint. I mean, I imagine every team, you're going to get calls from every team just to take your temperature, right? I mean, what's the process like between now and November 5th?
Yeah, look, it's exactly what you just said. You know, you get a lot of contact from other GMs, other personnel people, just, you know, taking temperatures as to, hey, do you have anybody that you're trying to move? And look, I think, you know, when you're in a losing streak, you know, you're calling those teams looking to see if they're sellers, right? And so we'll get a number of calls, and you know, we'll respond accordingly. I'm not really one who thinks that trading away half your roster makes a lot of sense at this point for generally what I think are undervalued offers.
That's, you know,
they're undervalued offers because you're a 2-6 team. It's how you approach the trade deadline. You're a desperate team. People know that. They know that you're desperate. You're 2-6 on a 6-game losing streak. So it's how you approach the deadline, where you're currently positioned, how you position. You're not in a position of power here. You're in a supplemental role. You're not the boss man. You're the lost man. I mean, you're not the boss man. You're the lost man. That's what you are. You're the lost man. You're not the boss man. You're not the boss. You're not the boss. You're not heading. You're not running nothing. You ain't running nothing. You're not the boss man. You're the lost man. You're lost. You're full of shit. You're a fraud. You're operating on a faulty resume. You're not who you say you are. You're the lost man. You don't. You're not approaching a situation in a position of power like the Chiefs are, where they making moves and trading with teams in the AFC with them to improve and getting better with the trades, despite the fact that they're dealing with injuries. It's just I don't understand what this man talking about for devalued offers. What kind of offer you think you're gonna get? What kind of offer this man think he's gonna get? And he's sitting up here 2-6. And nobody said trading away half your roster. We talking about you going out and get players that'll help you to turn this around. The Saints really need to focus on that offensive line. They need to get some help there. They need to help that, especially interiorly speaking. They need to focus on getting back to running the ball. They got to do that. You know, it's just what it is. And I know eventually the Saints will have to make adjustments to the tight end situation because Juwan Johnson is up and down. He makes plays there. Sometimes he drops the ball. He's not always present. You know, they're going to have to look at these other guys, man, for real. Dude, what's going on with this guy?
That's kind of the difference. It is kind of, it's so much different. They're looking for deals, right? I mean, and so and it's too early to say whether you would say just that. You'd be a buyer or a seller, right?
Yeah, well, I'm saying neither, really.
Right.
I mean, we're going to do what we think is best for our team for right now and going forward. And and so look, I would never say never about trading somebody, but I think generally at this time of year, the offers don't necessarily match the talent that you're giving up.
And we all have bosses.
Now, you also know that if you don't have any intentions of signing these players, now is the time to move them. If you don't have any intentions of signing a Chase Young, you better move him or you're going to lose him. It's either one or the other. And that's when you have to be on top of your game. You got to have your evaluations and you got to have a plan moving into the rest of the season. Understand that they don't have any intentions of re-signing this player. We might as well get a pick for him or a player now that can help us so we can fix and turn this around. That's an issue. That's the problem with losing 6 games in a row. When you have a big losing streak, it's supposed to be followed by a big winning streak. You can't do a losing streak and then win one game and then lose a game, and win one game, lose a game. No, you have a 6-game losing streak. You got to have an equal and better winning streak to counterbalance it because you're still falling down. You got people ahead of you. And like I said, I think they beat Carolina. I'm gonna have to look at the Atlanta game because that's going to be the game that really says a lot about the Saints, that they're going to have to wake up and play because they cannot get swept by the Falcons. If they get swept by the Falcons, they should fire him, that asshole, that same day or that Monday. He should be gone because the reason why you get rid of him is because you're trying to salvage the season. You're trying to get him on out of here and get somebody in here that can steer the boat right back to respectability because you're still trying to play for the playoffs. That's the goal. The goal is to get to the playoffs by any means necessary. If the coach is not winning, you have to get rid of the coach. You've given them enough time. Now, Jeff Duncan did say, the history about the Saints, all this kind of stuff, $14 million, and that the Saints usually with $14 million, they don't just throw money around. That's bullshit. Them people throw money around all the time. They waste money all the time. How you think the cap all screwed up? These people ain't responsible about no money. Not when it come down to that. They make bad bets all the time. There's a ton of dead money on bad contracts the Saints have. It's a ton of it. That's all behind Loomis. Not having a vision. I question the vision of this team. That's the thing. That's the point. That's why the draft pieces don't look that good, because the evaluation process in part is supposed to be done by Mickey Loomis. It's one of his general manager duties. He's supposed to function as it's supposed to be doing in-season evaluations on the team every week, almost daily. He's not doing that. He's not doing in-season evaluations. He even said that because he's too emotional. Was his term? When we win, I'm emotional. When we lose, I'm emotional. It's just that was just an excuse for him not to do his goddamn job as a general manager. You're supposed to be in a constant state of evaluating your team. If he was evaluating his team properly, fam, don't you understand we wouldn't be under a 6-game losing streak right now? Don't you understand if he was evaluating like a true general manager, a real general manager would never have let it got this far. He would have been seeing the fact that the coach is over his head and have stepped in and have done something. Force a change offensively. I've been saying this for a while. Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. He's a bullshit head coach. He's not anything that you want to have over your team. If I'm watching the offense week after week stink and funk it up, I'm looking at them. They can't run the ball. The offensive lineman looks disjointed, and you can't say you don't know because your defense is practice against in their offense every damn day. So however you look in practice is what you're looking like in these games. So if that's indeed the case, then I would have to step in and say, this guy here don't know what he's doing. Let me kind of move in here. Abe Dennison, let me let you take over the QB duties right now. I mean, for the play calling duties. Let's see what you can do with the offense. Klint, listen, no disrespect, but right now I'm trying to get a jolt from my offense right now. Dennison, you up. Kubiak, just wait in the wings. We'll see. Because you got to move. You're trying to break the slide. You're trying to get from up under a 6-game losing streak. So coaches' jobs got to be in jeopardy. their play calling got to be in jeopardy. Even Dennis Allen should say, you know what, I'm going to give up the play calling duties on defense and let Coach Wood do it. I need to focus on making sure the entire team is together. Does he do that? No, he don't do that. You just stand up there with that possum face, talking about he doing all the and all this kind of bull crap. These people are these crazy people, man. These crazy people, man. Then you got the top crazy people.
I have a lot here in this building, a lot in the radio station as well. What has been, we have, Mrs. Benson, I know she's, wants the team to win just as bad as anybody else, but how is Mrs. Benson taking this?
Yeah, look, Mrs. Benson is awesome as an owner. She really is. And I think the perception sometimes is that she's not involved. Well, she is. I speak with her almost every day. She's obviously concerned about this losing streak and how it's affecting
sales.
Not just the people in the building, but how it affects our fans. And
no, how it affects the sales. Say it right. How it affects the people in the building. Come on. How the what? If they was doing their damn job, then I don't care about how they impacted by it. You're supposed to be, you getting paid. You getting paid. What you doing is you shorten the Who Dat Nation because you collecting a check, you getting paid, and you stink. You garbage, you trifling, you sad. So it's I talked to Gail, and she's concerned about the guys in the building and how sad they're going to be. Oh, they're so sad. Oh, woe is me. Oh, they're so sad. And Gail is so upset because they're so sad. No, it's not that. It's the fact that the sales are beginning to go down. Thus, Gail is concerned. Because Gail's not going to bat an eye unless the money ain't right. Then Gail gets involved because you're playing with her money. That's how it is. And that's what I've been saying. So she ain't seen nothing. Gail, you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. You ain't seen nothing yet. Watch this over the next couple.
She's not involved. Well, she is. I speak with her almost every day. She's obviously concerned about this losing streak and how it's affecting not just the people in the building, but how it affects our fans. And look, she feels bad about that, and she wants to know, how are we working towards a solution? And so, we talk about that on a daily basis. Look, she's fantastic as an owner. She is in the locker room after the game, win or lose. And so these last 6 weeks have been tough, and yet she's there every week and concerned and listen, it makes all of us, we want to do right by her. And so it makes all of us even more conscientious and
Well, it can begin Sunday in Carolina.
That dude said conscientious. That dude don't know the meaning of the word conscientious.
Listen, it makes all of us, we want to do right by her. And so it makes all of us even more conscientious and more determined about flipping this thing around.
Well, it can begin.
Y'all believe in that? Do y'all believe that? She's concerned about the family members, the support. Yeah, you're concerned all right about that damn money. That money's starting to drop. People bailing out. Now let me tell you something, fam. Pulling your financial support, we still watching the games, but we pulling the financial support. We still diehards. But I'm pulling my financial support. I've been saying this, and I've been under a boycott now for a couple of years now. I'm not buying nothing from them people. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing all this. I ain't doing none of that. That's done with until the product on the field changes. I'm done with that because I don't believe nothing this guy is saying. And she going to him, how are we turning it around? Well, what we doing is, Gail, we're looking at it. We got some injuries right now, and that doesn't matter. Injuries was not we're not allowing you to utilize injuries as an excuse for why the team is failing when you have 3 different devices that you can use, that you could pull the lever on to improve your team, whether or not, regardless or not, injuries is a part of the game. They don't cancel the game because of injuries. You still have to go out and get the W to the best of your ability. That's why it's a high stakes game. If you can't play, get your ass out of the way. That's how it goes. We don't need no excuses. We ain't playing the excuses. And I have an excuse for your ass too when the money come due.
Sunday in Carolina and Charlotte against the Panthers, the 1-7 Panthers. And so big week 1 victory over them. See what happens with them this week as far as quarterback goes. Best of luck, Mickey. Get it back on track. Sunday in Carolina. Thanks for your time.
Yep. Thank you, Mike.
When do we come back?
Boy, I tell you what, Mike Hoss, the biggest brown noser in the New Orleans sports area, man. This guy actually asked the question about Mason Tipton. No disrespect to Mason Tipton, but Mason Tipton, that's way further down the line. We're gonna talk about, man, what do you think about Mason Tipton? I mean, you got other players that's actually doing some shit that you need to talk about before you talk about Mason Tipton, the third wide receiver. Anything to give these softball ass questions. It's not working. It's not hitting for nothing. When you listen to Mickey Loomis, it's all bullshit, man. It's all bull. It's all garbage, gobbledygook. Oh my God! Oh, she felt so bad. Oh well, what's her? She felt so bad. Oh my God, she was so concerned. You should have seen her face. She was just she pushed her clam chowder away and was like, I don't know why. I don't want the family base to be upset. She literally did that. And I was like, Gail, can I call you Gail? No, Miss. Well, okay, Miss Benson. I understand. I understand your pain. And listen, we're doing everything we can. Why now? Dennis Allen is a good coach, and you got to look beyond the results, Gail. Miss Benson, you got to look beyond the results. It's just what it is. You got to look beyond the results. And I know we're 2-6, but you got to look beyond the results. And I'll tell you, just like I told them, Bill Belichick, 2-11. 7-7. Oh man. And that only makes sense to him, man. This is the NFL, bro. Where do you think you are? That's how I know he's outdated. This is the NFL, man. We're not playing that, man. Patience is run out. We done gave you 3 years to turn this around, man. This guy done picked his entire offense. He done picked up all his offensive people. He done brung his quarterback in here. All these draft picks are people that he picked the last several drafts. This offense, he decided to go with a new offense. He had Pete Carmichael here for 2 years. This is stuff that he decided to do. And it's not panning out. All it is now is that the team is kind of doing a little mutiny on him. How do you miss that? You got team-only meetings. Where's Mickey Loomis at? Is he meeting with any of these players? He's a general manager, man. He's supposed to be generally managing some shit. I call Mickey the dollar general manager because that's all he is. Shit, he ain't doing nothing. The dollar general manager, he ain't doing shit. It's completely out of place, man. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit of this. I'm so disappointed in this dude, man, about what he gone. This, I had high hopes for this dude coming here to turn things around, but all he becoming is he turned Klint Kubiak is turning into Klint Carmichael or Pete Kubiak. This is him. So I was listening to Pete Kubiak, aka Klint Carmichael. Here we go.
I got a good friend in Denver. His name's Zach Grossi. He's a coach, diagnosed with cancer. Coaches for the Broncos. Just a really good
people coming to lock his ass up.
Coach, good person that's fighting a battle, and I just want everybody to keep him in their thoughts and prayers for him and his family. Any questions? Let's go.
Did you work with him while you were in Denver? Or did you know?
Yes.
Yes.
Was Derek's return due for helping you guys maybe get into maybe more manageable situations? How much did he help?
Oh yeah, it's been great to have him back in practice. Took command immediately. And I know that he gives the guys a lot of juice to have him back in the game. So he's been working his tail off. and you can tell that he's been really excited to get back. You can just see his excitement, his level of play and practice thus far has been excellent. So really looking forward to his leadership.
Kind of related to that, like the 3 games that Spencer started and Jake played in those, like the sack numbers went way up. Is that in part just because of like the way the game script played out, or is that some of the inexperience showing in that too?
Yeah, I think it's never one thing. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, when your attempts are up, you know, and you're in these games, you're down multiple scores, and that's usually going to have the sack numbers go up too. But it's a lot of things. It's coaching, playing, and it's a team negative that we're definitely working to fix.
It's the offensive line, Kubiak. It's your offensive line, bro. That's what the reporter was hinting at, the sacks behind the offensive line. And the fact that, and of course, if you can't run the ball, it forces them to throw. Then it's just another thing, man. It's just so disjointed, man. We had 100 yards, 100 some odd yards rushing last game, but we couldn't move the ball. We couldn't convert on third down. That's so suspect. Very weird, man. Saints find weird ways to lose, man. They run for 100 yards or so, 114 or something like that. I forget. But still, they can't convert on a third down or even get down there to get a touchdown. Damn. I mean, goodness gracious. Offensive line, bro. We got to get it together. Come on.
From the run game last week, what got you guys going a little bit?
Yeah, I think definitely showed a spark there. You know, we got young guys that are playing good. Kendra coming in and giving us some life in there, and I know he's dealing with an injury, but him and Taysom Hill and having Caesar back was a big help.
When you have to sit a
We scored 8 points, Klint. How was it a big help? We went back in production. Then we scored 10 against Denver and went 8. How was it a big help, bro? Make it understand. Make it make sense to me. I don't understand what you're saying.
young quarterback down mid-game, you know, what's kind of the messaging to make sure that doesn't become, you know, because obviously you want the development to be there.
Yeah.
You don't want that to kind of undermine that.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, when you draft a guy like that, you draft a guy who's really mentally tough. So that's not something I think I was worried about at all, how he's going to deal with it, because he's made of the right stuff. So, you know, in that game, in a game where you're down, just trying to get a new spark. Made a change in the middle of the game, but, you know, we drafted a really mentally tough guy that's going to keep working.
What were kind of 1 or 2 hurdles that he wasn't able to get past in this, you know, this go round that he can work on and improve next time?
You know, I think those are things we keep, you know, in house. We talk about together, and there's plenty of things that he's working on, and there's plenty of things that I could have done to help him. So, with that being said, he got a lot of great experience, and looking forward to the rest of his career. He's got a bright future.
Just kind of the
Yeah, it could have been a good thing if he had more of a running attack during the time that he played, because that would have kind of helped balance the offense. I mean, I don't understand why Klint Kubiak can't get other guys involved in this offense, man. Like, what's wrong with Jamal Williams where you can't get Jamal Williams involved? Like in certain aspects of the game, like in the second half of the game, where the defense is tired and you run your north-south runner there. Even if they run fullback, put a fullback in there with the power eye or whatever, or even put Elvin out there as a decoy, which I've seen him use in part, and some of it worked, some of it didn't work. But then again, not a lot of the double motion stuff. Is a very simplified, boring version of what we seen early on when you seen double motion and a lot of stuff being thrown at the defense to confuse them. All that has been taken away. It's been stripped away. And you've seen this really dull clone version of the Saints offense. And it speaks to the identity of the team. What is now the identity of the Saints as before? The Saints were really running the ball. They were handling business. Now, what is the identity of the Saints? The Saints have identity crisis now. They got an identity crisis right now because they're supposed to be built on a run. This is what he said when he came here, that they want to establish the running attack. And now that they can't run the ball, they're playing into an identity that they're not even comfortable with being. You're not going to win games in an identity that you're not comfortable using as a team. And that's it. So you have to establish yourself, reestablish yourself as a run dominant team. And then the play action comes. And this is just something that we haven't seen happen over the last couple of games. So the Saints are really dealing with a bit of an identity crisis because you can't rely on the run. Then what are we?
Season review of Trevor Penning to this point.
It's when you're kind of going week to week, I guess it doesn't hit my mind very much to think about how he's been doing. But I think he had a good start. I think he's grown a lot as a player. I think he's working his tail off, and we're really counting on him. So he's a player that we trust, and a player that's still improving.
Let me say this, fam, for the family members that have been studying the all 22 tape and watching the games on Trevor Penning, what grade would you give Penning right now? This is going straight out to a chat. We're going to blow up this question, 155 plus people here. With the Mickey Loomis question, says 94% says no, they do not believe in Mickey Loomis as a GM. That's over 150 people. We're going to kill that poll. The next one I'm going to put up on the fly as a poll, man, asking you guys about give Trevor Penning a grade. I want to know. I want y'all to vote on this poll, by the way. Everybody that's listening, I want y'all to vote on this poll and let me know. There it is. Vote on that poll. It's up, fam. Hit the poll up. Vote. Give me your vote on that. Because that's a question. Trevor Penning was a big issue starting the season off with. Now, although he looks a lot better than what he was in training camp, what would you give Trevor Penning right now? Put it in the poll, not in the chat, in the poll. Let me see what you look like in the poll. Because from what I was seeing on the all 22 over the last several weeks, it's a mixed bag for me with Trevor Penning because Trevor Penning gets caught reaching. Trevor Penning is too high at times. He's late to pull, and it's just he's not crisp. Like right now, you see a lot of the stuff a lot of fundamental issues with Trevor Penning's game. Now he is athletic at times, but it's times when it's the same thing like a few of those guys are. Sometimes he don't know who to block. Sometimes the guy that he's blocking sheds him, or to get to where they need to be. So it's a mixed bag with Trevor Penning in terms of what I've seen from him. To be honest with you, a lot better play from Tali Fuaga, even though he's a rookie. And he at times, like the guy spent off of him to get the sack on, was it Rattler? I want to say in the Chargers game, but really that was the quarterback's fault because instead of stepping up in the pocket, he kind of backed up into the pressure. Tally, if he'd have stepped up into the pocket, the guy would have to go through Tally as opposed to go around him. And he would have definitely got protection. So he kind of moved into the sack, in my opinion. But Tally's been a lot more solid than Penning is. So y'all put it in the chat. Like it's been a mixed bag with me. I would probably grade him as like a C right now, like a C or even a C minus for Trevor Penning right now. I'm watching the tape. I have not been impressed with Trevor Penning's play over the last several weeks. And like I said, a lot of the losing streak is tied to the fact that the Saints offensive line is a lot of them guys are not winning one-on-one matchups. And the tape proves all of that. Right now, 61% says a C. Everybody's pretty close everywhere else. 12% A, 12% B, 15% D, 60+% of the people's giving him a C. I'm about right there. I would agree with that. That's enough of him, man. Let's move on to the next man. Here goes Joe Woods, fam.
A little inconsistent. You know what I mean? I think he was in position. He just has to come down and make those plays. He knows that. Just have to be a little bit tighter with our technique and just be a little bit more detailed. But he made a few plays, but just got to be more consistent.
Joe, they benched Bryce Young, going back to Bryce Young because of injury and those kinds of things. But what did he do last week that showed the improvement that I guess they've been looking for?
Well, I would say this may be offensively. Maybe they tried to do more things to help him, not to put him in tough situations, make it a little bit easier for him to operate. Obviously, have a good running game. They're big up front, a good offensive line. So trying to establish the run and just make the offense easier for him to operate is what I would say.
So overall, how do you feel like Alonte's played this year, and how would you rate his consistency?
I definitely think he's better. I mean, going to last year is just something that was foreign to him. Just playing in all that space. I think he's more comfortable, especially in the run game. He's had some really good run fits. I think his coverage has been consistent. I just think overall there's a couple plays he's left out there. He knows that. And those are the big plays that we need him to make, to change the game.
How did you guys kind of figure out he could be like so dynamic with just the blitzing and some of the different stuff you're having him do?
Just for me, just over the years, going way back to Rondé Barber, Antoine Winfield, Charles Woodson, just different nickels that I've had the opportunity to coach. The one trait you see with Alante is that he has length. He's extremely quick and he's fast. So when you have those guys that have that twitch and have that speed, they're going to get there faster than other guys, and their coverage skills are good. The thing he had to improve on really was the run game. But in terms of all the physical things that you look for, he possesses those.
Joe, how do you view some of like the almost sacks y'all have gotten, where you've gotten to the quarterback, couldn't bring him down?
Yeah, we had talked about that. Those are the critical plays that we need to make. And I say it in the course of a game, there's 2 or 3 plays that change the momentum of the game. And last week, those guys made them, we didn't. And we were right there. I showed the guys where it was good. We had a quarterback pressure, or maybe we had a sack, but it could have been more, right, if we were just a little bit better. So that's an area we're looking at in terms of improving. But we definitely talked about that.
Is that just like finishing the play?
Yeah, just finishing it. But the opportunities to get the ball were there for us that we did take advantage of.
Are explosives in that sort of category too?
We got to eliminate them, and that's a problem. Again, the big play, just Alante missed time to jump, on the ball, just stay down and finish to the receiver. But those are the opportunities that we have to make.
Yeah, you guys are leading the league in 50 yards, like plays at 50 plus.
You're right.
What do you think about that?
Thanks. No, I know.
Tell the truth.
We definitely know. We're not doing good in terms of those things, but it just comes down to playing technique and everybody doing their job.
Did you feel like the coverage in that game was what you wanted, and was it more just kind of plays in the catch points that became an issue? Because it seemed like there were players where they needed.
We were in position, we just didn't finish. If you look at Alante play, if you look at the 2 plays Kool-Aid had, and that's 3 plays that changes the whole game. And those are the plays that we haven't been making consistently this season.
And what kind of goes into that? Like, is it just?
Yeah, it's just detailing the technique. Are you in position to make a play on the ball, or do you have to play through the receiver? But it's just the little details that we're off on. So just stress those things this week, and hopefully we're a little bit better in this game.
How do you feel like Ugo Amadi did in nickel?
We did fine. Ugo's been there. He's a veteran player. He's played. He stepped in last year and played well. We had to play the position, so I have no concerns.
All right, that's Coach Joe Woods, man. Let's kind of move on, fam. Let me hit y'all with this right quick. This is a ranking. Let me kind of clean up the screen here. This is what we'll cover tomorrow on tomorrow's Friday stream. The preview between the Saints and the Carolina Panthers, right? This is the rankings currently. The Saints 2-6. The Panthers are 1-7. Offensive scoring rank, NFL scoring average, Saints averaging 23.5 points per contest, 16th in the NFL. Even though over the last couple of games, man, the Saints combined for 18 points over the last 2 games. Carolina Panthers averaging 15.5 points a game, 29th tied. Saints giving up 25.8 a game, 26 points a contest, which is 25th. The Panthers giving up 34 points a game, which is dead last in the NFL. Then you get to the rank, the offensive rank. Saints 319.5 is good for 20th. The Panthers are 281.9, 29th. Saints rushing attack is ranked 21st in the NFL, 116.4. Carolina 104 flat. That's 24th ranked. Passing offense 203 point. Passing offense, there you go, 203.1, which is 19th, versus the Panthers, almost might as well say 178 is 30th. And then you get to the total defense here, which is where we are. The Saints give up 393 yards per game. That's dead last in the NFL. They allow 143.6 yards rushed on them, which is 28th in the NFL. Their secondary allows over 249 yards a game, which is 28th. Panthers are better than the Saints defensively, barely, right? 387.5, which is 31. And they do allow you to run 154.6, that's 32nd ranked. And the secondary is 232.9, which is 25th ranked. So if anything, we'll go into this stuff when we do our breakdown for the matchup coming up tomorrow. For Sunday's matchup, we'll do our preview Friday. Usually we do it on Thursdays, but I'm just going to push it to Friday's show. But yeah, if anything, if the statistics ring true, you look at it, this could be the medicine the Saints offense need to get right in a running attack, to get right on the plus side of things, to kind of fix what they've gotten going on. Like I said before, and I said it again, the Saints will beat the Carolina Panthers. I just think, not saying that the Panthers can't beat the Saints, because it all depends on Bryce Young. Bryce Young does have the skill set necessarily needed to beat the Saints. He's a quarterback that can scramble and get out of trouble situations. As we know, the Saints defensive line hasn't done a really good job of creating to keep constant pressure on the quarterback. If you remember, Herbert was able to run on the Saints because the defensive line is not very good at gap discipline. Like, they can't blitz without maintaining, where they're supposed to be on the field. So the line will get crumpled up, and it'll create an escape hatch or escape route for the quarterback to take off. And Herbert killed the Saints with that. He was able to scramble and run around on the Saints, and the Saints really didn't make an adjustment. And then they put up 26 points, which is, they did that twice. They wasn't really a big offense, but they were able to get 26 on the Saints. Now, Bryce Young can do that. Bryce Young can scramble. He can get outside the pocket. But the issue is, with everything going bad, there is no pressure for the Panthers. There's no pressure on him to win right now. The Panthers throwing him in there, understanding that playoffs is a foregone conclusion. And whatever they do, they got to give him an opportunity to get in there and play. So he'll be playing a lot freer than we've seen in previous past. It's different. It's a different energy when you playing with people with expectations versus when you don't have any expectations at all and people just want to see you do something winning. That's a different pressure altogether. So we could see a different version of Bryce Young. Not saying that he'll be some all-star or whatever, but he does have the skill set in terms of his scrambling ability. He's an intelligent guy. He just doesn't have his weapons and all this. Well, Ledette's getting there. Xavier Ledette is starting to kind of step up. We'll cover all that on the preview. But it's really interesting, man, to just kind of look at, from a statistic standpoint, how the Saints defense aren't getting to the quarterback. It's the pressures are not converting into sacks. You hear what Coach Wood saying, it's about finishing the play. We haven't been able to do that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not like Carolina can't sneak a win against the Saints. Anything's possible, especially when you're a team on a 6-game losing streak and the players have to get together on this to kind of get some pride about themselves to not let this happen. Carolina, one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Saints lose to them. Dennis Allen don't even get on the team plane. Catch a goddamn Greyhound back. Because this is the thing. But I expect them to beat the Carolina Panthers. I don't think it'll be a blowout. But the Saints, this is an opportunity for the Saints to kind of reestablish themselves again in terms of getting more of a complete offense. They're getting Carr back, and you heard Klint Kubiak. You could take that with a grain of salt. Him saying that he bringing juice to the offense. He kind of made a similar saying about Spencer Rattler, about his energy and all this kind of stuff. He kind of said that about Spencer. I remember saying that about him when he was in there playing. So with Carr coming back, they're getting their starting quarterback back to try to do something. I expect them to win the contest, but I don't expect a blowout. But this is a medicine game of sorts for the Saints to kind of reassess them, kind of reestablish themselves as a running team that's get back into the play action. Because that defense is problematic. Carolina has a problematic defense. So the Saints, ideally, or they should. Let's just put it like that, man. They should be, not saying they will, but they should. They should be able to use the Carolina Panthers defense to establish the run and get the play action back. They should be able to do something like that to kind of get some confidence back, to gain some chemistry. to gain some synergy back against Carolina. Carolina is a team that's headed for the cellar in the NFC. They're going to be probably a top 1 or 2 pick team. So this is an established game where the Saints can get on the right footing against Carolina. It'll be in a dome. They should be able to get in there. They should be able to reestablish themselves against this Carolina team. And then the tougher matchup will be 2 weeks from now when they face off against the Falcons in the dome, and they can't allow them to get no sweep on the Saints. Saints have to split with them. They got to start that winning streak to get back to something, if there's going to be something. So we'll talk about more of that on tomorrow's stream, fam, on the Friday stream. But that'll probably be it for tonight. That's all I got for y'all tonight. But anyway, before I go, shout out to you guys. Appreciate you being here. Please do me a service. If y'all have any quick questions, throw them in the chat. The poll questions give Trevor Penning a grade right now. 55% of the family members say that he's a C. Shout out to y'all for that, for throwing that in there, because that's something that we want to know. That was a concern that we had about Penning. How was Penning looking to y'all? When the season started, a lot of people were shaking on Trevor Penning. But a C is better than a D. You know, he was playing really D-ish, kind of like in the preseason, you know, until he kind of stepped up. And a C is, you can work with that. We can kind of build that up, but it's just, his technique is still very flawed, man. He's playing with a lot of aggression, a lot of athleticism, but his technique is bad. His technique is bad. Too high, many times getting there too late, not knowing who to block. I say like a C minus, but still you can work with that. I don't know what John Benton them got to really, I don't know, man. I don't know. With the offensive player, like Tolly looks all right, but these other guys too, like Lucas Patrick, shouldn't be starting for us. Cesar Ruiz, I never was crazy about Cesar Ruiz. To me, he had one decent year, and the rest of them like, but he's not really a guard. He was made to be a center, you know. But yeah, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know about these guys, man, because we're gonna need this line if there's going to be anything. Let's just say that. All right, big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, Flores. Yeah, Dave. Mike Flores interviewed for the Saints job. Mike Flores would be a good coach to have. That's a good name to have, because Mike Flores is a young, and this would be a fire thing. Let's say this could be purely fantasy, but imagine if we had Kai becomes your general manager and he turns around and hires Brian Flores as his head coach. Flores is a young head coach that knows defenses. He would fix the Saints defense. He's smart. He's a good communicator. He's one of these rising young coaches that's gained respect. And then he did have a prior stint where he was a head coach. He was the head coach. So he has previous head coaching experience with the Miami Dolphins. It was some F stuff that went down in Miami with the owner they try to throw him under the bus and get him to tank the team. So they wasn't really serious about winning like they treating McDaniels down there. That was not how they was doing Brian Flores. But having Kai as the new general manager and him hiring Brian Flores, and Brian Flores with the defensive background he has, and then bringing in and hiring an offensive mind to help turn things around. I like that, because that kind of modernizes the Saints organization. It gets from these older coaches that really, you know, that's tied to this old legacy. We need somebody here that's coming in here fresh, that's going to do some things. I do like the Brian Flores. I mean, Mike Flores. Brian Flores. You got Mike Flores. I think you mean Brian, don't you? Yeah, we'll see what's up, man. Yeah. He says, where is Waldo? All right. He says it's going to be for Carl. Oh, that guy, man. That guy I really don't. I'm not going to even comment on that, because that just is disgusting to me, man. You know, all these apologists, these people, man. Listen, if these guys stink, you got to tell the truth, man. What, you getting a check from the guy? I don't understand that, man. That's just disgusting to me. Gundam says, Q, what happens if the Saints lose to the Panthers? Then they're in trouble, bro. The Saints lose to one of the worst teams, or the worst team in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL, if I'm not, from a record standpoint. I think they're the worst. Let me see if I can pull up the standings. If like they got somebody worse than them. I think they're the worst team to watch. If they lose to the Panthers, fam, listen. That's a major issue right there. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, the Carolina Panthers, the worst team in the no, Tennessee is the worst team in the NFL, but they're the second worst team. They're the worst team in the NFC. They're 1-7. The Giants are 2-6. The Saints 2-6. So the Giants are worse than the Saints. So the Saints are the third worst team in NFL record-wise. Carolina's the worst. And they're the second worst in the NFL, according to the standings. Yeah, and the Saints are according to standings, are the fifth worst team in the NFL. So yeah, they're saying Carolina's the worst team according to this. NFL.com's stats got the Panthers Carolina's the worst team. Yeah, Carolina is the worst team in NFL. They're 0-5. Yeah, they done lost 5 games in a row. They done lost 5 games in a row. Yeah, they can't get it right. And their one win did come on the road, so be careful of that. They had one win and it was on the road. So, but yeah, the Carolina Panthers is the worst team in the NFL, man. If they lose to them, that should Dennis Allen don't even need to get on the plane. Let him go do his own thing. All right. Yeah, Arvin says, I don't remember Carr throwing a game, losing INT, not being able to win our team game against a team with no offensive touchdown, then throwing the ball up for grabs by panicking under pressure. That wasn't a good look. That kind of really, when he did that validated all of the Carr naysayers when he just threw that ball up there like that. That really just did it for a lot of people. Like, why would you do that? That was at the start of the game. The drop was very promising. I was trying to throw it out of bounds. And he just threw that son bitch up there. That guy picked it all. Like, what is going on here? You mean to tell me you that scary? Where the guy had like 3 to 4 yards on him. He just off his back foot. He didn't step into the throw. This dude with the guys 3 to 4 yards away from him threw it off his back foot up for the pick. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, okay, there it is. And that's why people clowns Carr. That's why they clown him. But people that don't understand that, when you see stuff like that, most of these guys, that's why I don't count to be one of these guys where you can't see their flaws. You can't be no fanboy behind these dudes. You got to tell the truth, man. 50 Coach says, what is the Saints record at the end of the season? I don't know, brother. I don't know. They're 2-6 right now. That depends, bro. If we rocking with Dennis Allen all the way through, you probably I don't know. I wouldn't say the Saints win 5 games because they're not making any changes. They're talking about changes, but ain't no changes being made. I mean, the offense looks bad, and Kubiak is not doing anything different. He's not changing anything. The offense still looks stale. It still looks out of touch. He's not changing up anything. If I was Dennis Allen, I would go to Rick Dennison and put him control of the offense. I got to get it jolted. I can't let the offense funk around, screw around, and don't score and put up 8 points in a game and then score 18 points over 2 games. And we're on a 6-game losing streak. I can't do that. I can't let Klint Kubiak's ineffective play call and screw around on what I'm doing. I got to get somebody in there to know what they're doing. So I got to change up something. I got to put somebody else in charge. I got to put Rick Dennison over the offense and let him see what he can do with it. See if he can jolt the offense. I got to take Dennis Allen, got to give his play callings to Joe Woods and become a head coach. Stop trying to call the plays because you stink right now. Let Joe Woods see what he can do about it. That's the type of change that you need to see. They're trying to move around personnel and his message has gotten stale and the players are not listening to Dennis Allen. He done lost the team. When you get to the point where you're doing player only meetings, you don't got the coaching there. You think they're reinforcing what the coach is saying? No, the player only meetings mean that despite whatever he doing, he being a coach and whatever he's saying, we got to step up and perform. It's not like a pep rally for the players. The coach could be in there like, yeah, we got to do. No, despite whatever he got going on, we got to win. So, I mean, man, this dude, man, listen, man. And then Mickey Loomis telling Gail, "Oh well, wait, you got some players that's injured. You got four people, I want to say, came back, and you scored 2 less points than what you did the previous game. It ain't all tied to that. This is a problem systemically inside of the Saints organization where people are losing faith in the leadership of the team. They've lost faith in the head coach. They've found out, and many, this didn't just happen. There's been fractures and cuts and breakdowns in the locker room because the dude is off code. He's stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing. He don't know when to make changes. And that's what I told y'all when the season started, was that if the accountability thing stepped up and did what they needed to do, they could win games because they had the talent, they have the proper system. But when the team started breaking down, all the accountability shit that they was talking about in the preseason, notice Dennis Allen, that's not even a thing happening anymore. Who's taking accountability for the Saints 6-game losing streak? Who's taking any accountability for it? You know, it's just you can't win without having accountability and attention to detail. And they're missing all that, fam. If they were accountable, they'll get them damn shitty offensive linemen out of here and bring new people. And even if you got to trade for them, you got to salvage the season. You can't let the season get too far down where you can't come back. And losing 6 games in a row, your season is in jeopardy, big time. Especially if you lose to Atlanta, you get swept by the Falcons. You might as well go ahead and open the door for them to walk in the dome. You got to beat the Falcons. All right, Milton, shout out to you, brother. Says, love you. Big Q, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. Says, agreed, player only meeting is the biggest red flag you can have. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother Milton. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Right back at you, bro. Yeah, this is one of the things we got to understand. And listen, fam, I might sound a little somber on this, but like I'm going to say it again before I end the stream, I'm going to keep it all the way funky with you. This is necessary. We have to purge these parasites off our team. We got to purge these parasites. What parasites, Q? I'm talking about people stealing money. I'm talking about coaches that don't supposed to be here because they can't coach. We got and shoddy leadership at the top. We need to purge all of this out of here. And the way we're going to purge it is by doing one movement. That means keeping your money in your pocket, not going down to the Saints facility. If you're going to do a Saint party, do it with your buddy or your lady at your house, or y'all do something at each other's house, whatever you're going to do. Don't do it down there. Don't order nothing from their website. Don't go down there to their store. Don't do that, because by you not showing up, you're giving your ticket back to them. Do something else with that money. I know you can take something, go, put some paint on your damn house. You know what I'm saying? Buy a new sofa, buy a new TV, do something with it. Get the money to your children, buy a new wardrobe, get a new phone, go to Mint Mobile. Go to Bet Online and bet against the Saints. Do some shit like that. Don't get whatever you do. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Whatever you do, don't give it to them, because they're not operating righteously. They're not operating fairly, man. This is a bunch of garbage. This is BS. So you don't reward bad behavior. We're not rewarding bad behavior. We don't do that. That's not a responsible parent or a responsible person, period. If they reward a child's bad behavior, we don't play that. You create monsters when you do that. You create monsters when you reward bad behavior. We don't do that. We don't create no monsters, man. We don't do that. But yeah, this team is, I don't think Dennis Allen pulls this team out of the hole. That's not who he is. That's why I was saying at the start of the season that if they lose games and they get in the hole, it's the end for Dennis Allen, because the pressure mounts just like it's mounting, just like the people are not going to show up. And don't let these other cats out here throw at you or try to gaslight you, because you saying, listen, you still a diehard person, but you taking your money back. You're going to respect my mind on this. I'm not giving my money to nothing. These people are irresponsible, man. They're not listening. They're lying. They're making up shit. Making Loomis out up here talking stupidly. He realized the facts of the team on the 6-game losing streak, and he's still making excuses. They're on a 6-game losing streak. There is no excuse for that. How could you make an excuse behind that? Then you got this brown nosing ass reporter up here asking the man questions. He asking him about Mason Tipton, the team under a 6-game losing streak, with issues at the cornerback position and every damn thing else. And this guy is sitting up here asking about, what do you think about Mason Tipton? What? Fumbling, stumbling over his questions, trying to help Mickey out, giving some of the answer in the questions, just straight up brown nosing. You're going to ask these, but that's what they do. That's what they don't want no smoke. They don't want to answer no real questions because they don't have no answers. But we have the answers. The answer is not to support you. We're not supporting this garbage, man. This team is 2-6. The team is currently under some sort of player mutiny right now. If it was a battleship, they would have thrown Dennis stinking ass off the ship into where the sharks at, where the crocodiles at. You know, he'd be having dinner with the alligators right now. If it was a real boat and he was the captain of it, they would have thrown him over it. They're not listening. When they start doing player only meetings, that's a clear red flag and sign that he's lost the team. He lost the team. And what you expect from a man that throw the people under the bus. Remember, he threw the team under the bus last year and apologized to the Falcons. People wanted him fired after that. You don't do that. But did stupid Mickey tell him, hey, Dennis, you can't do that? They just saying whatever, so we're going to say whatever. We're going to say, well, you can't beat us. You can't beat a money boycott. Not when you contingent on the money. So now I don't anticipate the Saints getting back to nothing or getting back to 500 because they're not even designed like that. Dennis Allen is not the type of coach. You know how much motivational energy you would have to summon to be able to pull your team spirits out enough to get them out of a 6-game slide and to get back to being relevant again? Do you not know how much motivational energy that has? And every time that guy gets to the podium, he stands up there, his head is down. That dude is not cut from that cloth. He can't do that. You ask him to do something that he can't do, and the players see it. We've been seeing it. Mickey Loomis don't see it because they don't want break that money that they own, but you're going to come up out of that money or you're going to pay them tickets yourself. So anyway, yeah, oh yeah, there you go, Cartel. Yeah, there you go, Mint Mobile, brother. Y'all go to Mint Mobile, the sponsors of the show, man. Listen, Mint Mobile, that's right, time to do the commercial. Yeah, that's a perfect segue, baby. Mint Mobile. Yeah, that's perfect segue. Mint Mobile, baby. Mint Mobile, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Y'all check Mint Mobile out as a sponsor of the show, the platform, man. Much love to Mint Mobile. Y'all check out their deals. Like I said, man, it's tough times out here. This economy sucks. It's garbage. It's trash. But right now, if you want to save money on your house budget, man, listen, look at them phones, man. You can save a lot of money. I did, man. I was spending a lot of money on phones, man. You know, I had to take a look at it. I had to look around, man. Like, man, I have to save some money. Mint Mobile have good service, man. And the plans, boy, you wouldn't believe it. Very inexpensive. Save you some money. You can take that money and buy you a brand new 80-inch screen television. You can, whatever you got to do, fam. You can buy some merch from the store, whatever you got, because they got plenty. Matter of fact, I still got the Fire DA shirts that I made, 2 years ago? I still got the Fire Dennis Allen. It's in the link in the description section for the merch, man. We got Fire Dennis Allen shirts that I made 2 years ago. They still there. The Fire DA shirts is in the merch store, man. We got a couple of merch stores. The links in the chat below I think it's the Linktree merch as well. As we get ready for the fail cons, it's also time to kind of look at the rise up to fall down gear. You can get yours, man, at the shop, man. Don't support them son of a, old boy about to cut them up. Don't support them. They got the wrong message. Support those that's rocking with you, fam. Do that. And also shout out to Teach Henley, man, 20 to 40% off on skincare products, heavily endorsed by Reverend Saint. Yeah, baby. Listen, baby. Teach Henley. Get you some Teach Henley, man, 20, 40% off. The ladies love it. Bet online, man. Like I said, if you can't make money with the Saints, make money on the Saints because they doing it to you. Win, lose, or draw, baby. They doing it to you. Thank you. Milton says Mickey Loomis is a friggin' robot. He's killing this franchise. He has to go with DA. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Yeah, the man said, hey, well, you seen that, Mickey? Then he's killing the city. Y'all remember that? I think that was after that Tampa Bay game. I want to say when the man was like, he killing, Mickey, he's killing it. They tried a 3rd and 1. He tried to pass the ball. Y'all remember that? That guy was, talking to Mickey Loomis. You're killing the city. You killing the city, Mickey. He told Mickey Loomis that you're killing the city, Mickey. You're killing the city, Mickey. I'm gonna see if I can find that man right quick. This old boy told Mickey Loomis, "You're killing the city, Mickey. You're killing the city." 3rd and 1. He tried to make a pass. He tried to throw the ball. And what Loomis was doing, sitting up there walking away from the man, trying to ignore him. You're killing the city, Mickey. Damn, just when I wanted to find it, man, I can't find it, man. You're killing the city, Mickey. You're killing the city, Mickey. Hold up, I'm gonna find that shit, man. Because the dude sounded kind of funny, but it wasn't really funny. You know what I mean? You're killing the city, Mickey. It was 3rd and 1, and they tried to pass the ball, Mickey. You're killing the city, Mickey. You got to do something tonight, Mickey. Let's see, man. You got to do something tonight, Mickey. You're killing the city, Mickey. God damn it, I can't even find it, man. I used to. You're killing the city, Mickey. Now when I want to find it, I can't even find it, man. Ain't that cool? You're killing the city. Hold on. I'll try to see I didn't know who the man was. Hold on, fam. The hell with this. I'm gonna try to find this. Hold on here. That done made me more determined. Hold on here. You're killing the city, Mickey. I'm gonna find this shit. There it is. See when you determined, man. When you don't tell me about being determined, man, that's all you have to be is determined. You'll find it, man. Here you go, right here, fam. Here you go. Yeah. You're killing the city, Mickey.
Come on, Mickey. It's on you, Mickey. You got to make a move tonight, Mickey. He's not ready for this, Mickey. You're killing the city. You're killing a reputation. 3rd and 1. They tried to throw a pass. Mickey Loomis, you got to do New Orleans better. Come on, Mickey. It's on you, Mickey. You got to make a move tonight, Mickey. He's not ready for this, Mickey. You're killing the city.
You're killing the city.
You're killing a reputation. 3rd and 1. They tried to throw a pass. Mickey Loomis, you got to do New Orleans better.
You're killing the city, Mickey. Yeah, the dude
Come on.
He sound funny, man, but the man talking truth talk, man. One more time, brother.
Come on, Mickey. It's on you, Mickey. You got to make a move tonight, Mickey. He's not ready for this, Mickey. You're killing the city. You're killing a reputation. 3rd and 1. They tried to throw a pass. Mickey Loomis, you got to do all the
That kid, that's funny. You got to do something tonight, Mickey. You're killing the city. You're killing the reputation. And then what was Mickey doing while the man telling him that? He should have ran up there and gave him some bad orange juice. That's what he should have did. Look at him. He's seeing it, then he turns away and walks away like, I don't see anything. No accountability, no nothing, no concern. That's what he does. This is what Mickey Loomis does when things go bad. He turns and looks the other way. He looked the other way. He literally turned and went a different direction and looked away from what was going on on the field. That's what he's doing right now. He's doing what he's doing right now then. He's doing it now. All right. Thank you, Milton, man. Thank you for becoming a member of the show, brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
Thank you, brother. All right. What's up, Jay Black? Shout out to my boy Jay Black. Man, he said I've been calling sabotage on both our so-called pro sports team. Yeah, Jay Black, isn't it bad, bro? Man, what's going on with the Pels, man? Shout out to Pelicans Nola. And Pelicans Nola was over there. Fam was up in there watching the game. Yeah, Jay Black says so the dome is not your home t-shirts. Yeah, we gotta do something, man. Now, OG said Rev Saint, we need encouragement. Rev Saint ain't got nothing to say about this, OG. He ain't got nothing to say for this. You're on a 6-game losing streak, fam. Man, and Reverend Saint ain't got nothing for this one, brother. He ain't got nothing on that, bro. All I can say, man, is like at the end of the day, bro, this is supposed to happen. We got to get rid of these parasites from the organization. They choking the life. They got people who are failing. They're failures, and it's destroying the team. And it's not just from the players, it's from the top down. Mickey Loomis is not a leader that's supposed to be operating as a general manager. He does not have a vision. He's over relying on his head coach's vision, and the head coach doesn't have a vision. And when people challenge the vision, he gets pissy. What you're not supposed to do, you're supposed to ask questions. All he does is give a bunch of long bullshit answers. Like when they asked him, where are the new Cam Jordans? What are the superstars you're drafting? And he talked about first, hold on now, before I answer that question. First, you got to understand who Cam Jordan is. No. I'm not going there. I asked you, where are the new Cam Jordans? So this dude went in a whole long dumb spiel about Cam Jordan. He was basically reading off the website about Cam's accomplishments. You can literally go to the Saints website and read the bio on some of these players, and it basically tell you he read everything off Cam's bio, word for word, like he deep. He did the same thing for Demario Davis. That's not what was asked. What was asked was, where are the next Cam Jordans and Demario Davises? Where are they? Because these guys have gotten old. And now that they're old and Father Time is catching them and they're not as productive as they used to be, now you're looking crazy because the young people that's supposed to be here to replace these guys, they're not stepping up to the forefront because they're not ready. I think Foskey has an incredible amount of talent, but he's not being developed to be even. Look at Peyton Turner. Before we even talk about Isaiah Foskey, he was a 2nd-round choice. Peyton Turner was a 1st-round draft choice, and look where he is. So I don't get it either, fam. I don't know what to say about it. I think it's just dumb vision. I think it's bad vision, and we have to go through this purging process where we get all of these parasites that's collecting checks, that's just out here to get paid. We don't want you here if you're a check collecting ass player. You got to be able to produce. Money is difficult. People out here work hard for their money, and they blessing you by allowing you to play a child sport as opposed to be working in a warehouse somewhere or driving trucks from cross country or whatever you may do. People are funding you and you working hard, but yeah, they're giving you hard-earned money. They expect better results than what we saying, and it's not going to work. And now, like I said, in a tough ass economy like this, the Saints should be feeling they should be feeling privileged when because we've been supporting this team through the last 3 years, and now it's not like you just saying now, hey man, listen, still, do what you do, watch the game, but at the end of the day, all economic endeavors need to be cut off. It's a boycott funded, and hopefully this like we get this together and stay on code with each other, and maybe we can transition this to other things, like when we see people or companies that's doing the wrongful shit, like I talked about early in the stream about the biggest polluters on the planet is the Fortune 500 companies, but they point at you because they say your truck too big. That's the problem. See, you with that big ass truck, you the one. I'm like, what? A big ass dude driving a big ass truck. He's the polluter versus that oil company over there that's dumping all that shit in the river. 3-eyed fish and all this bull, all this crazy shit. But that guy's probably man, stupid as hell, man. No, we ain't going for that. So when you got companies that do F stuff, then you could be able to shut them down. Like if they supporting stuff that's hurting the people, shut them down. Because they just using your money against you. That's how they don't use their own money. They use your money. That's what I was saying about her. She ain't spending her money. Her money goes into investments. These people, when you look into that advanced financial real estate catalog these people have, they got skyscrapers. The Benson Tower is a skyscraper the state gave the Bensons. And he took money, fixed the tower up, and then rented out the suites back to the state who were in the building originally. They gave the tower to Benson for pennies on a dollar. The Benson Tower, the one that sits right next to the dome with all the suites in it, they renovated the suites and charged the state double the money to rent out the suites. That's your money. See, I know about all that, man, because I just study football on the field. I know these people. I know what they're about. I know their financial holdings outside of the car dealerships and the real estate and all this other shit that they're buying up. And they use the Saint money to buy the Pelicans. Now they got all the money in the state, and as you get richer, you find loopholes you use to save on them tax dollars. That's how the rich get rich. You looking at them like they so this, that. No. They got loopholes. That's like when I would work for the railroad, the old guys used to always bitch and complain about this, that, and the third, and all this. And I'm like, okay, if you feel like that, why don't you just start a charity? They looked at me like, what? Yeah, I said, instead of bitching and complaining, this is old guy. Instead of bitching and complaining about how much stuff costs, why don't you start a charity and do that and all that shit? And that dude looked at me, he never complained again. I don't know if the son bitch did it or not, but he never complained to me about it. The point is, there's a solution for every problem, man. There are loopholes here. This is a loophole society. And another thing is that you got to understand, whoever these people are, you got to investigate them. Don't give them all your support. I've been telling people this for a long time because a lot of this is driven on you. A lot of times they drive people against each other. That's how they stay in control. They nitpick. They put the men against the women, all this kind of stuff. They do this shit all the time, man. And they did this shit for years and it's still working. It ain't gonna work no more. You can't keep running the same sucker shit on us and we not picking it up, man. You're not playing with a bunch of idiots, man. We done figured it out. Now it's about to change. I tell y'all at the same, realize y'all power. Don't let nobody step on you. Don't let nobody disrespect you. Stand on business, be on code. Be moral and don't compromise. Stand on code. Don't tolerate no disrespect from nobody. You know who you are. It's only one of you on this entire planet. There's not a double of you. And even if you was a double, you would still be unique because that would be a person and you would be a different person. For my twins out there, y'all know what I mean. So at the end of the day, man, enough of this F stuff is over with as far as I'm concerned, man. This is a new era of thinking where there's no longer this fanatical fanboy mentality where we just support the team no matter what effed up stuff they do. That's over with. That's done. It's a new era, a golden era of thinking that we rocking with, and all this other stuff, that's over with. Y'all done banked up, y'all done got big, y'all disrespected, y'all got big and bloated. Now it's time to lose some weight. We gonna take you down, baby. That's a message from Reverend Saint. We about to take you down, baby. Baby, you going down. Baby, you talking and crazy, baby. You talking crazy. Baby, you going down, baby. All the way down. We gonna take you down. That's Reverend Saint right there. All right, so anyway, I'm up out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all for doing what y'all doing and being who y'all be. I appreciate the Super Chat and Cash Appers tonight. I appreciate the family members for giving me their time tonight. I'll be back on Friday, family. We'll come back on Friday and do another stream. Of course, we know the Pelicans play tomorrow as well, so there'll be the live scoreboard stream as well as the Pelican PPR final stream call-in special tomorrow. So Jay Black, pop in, brother, if you got time. Pop in as well, brother, for the other stream. I love to hear from you, brother. I ain't hear from you in a while over there. Jay Black says, Q, they know better than grade school. Yeah, it's going down, baby. Yeah, it's going down. No, come on, Carlton. He says, ain't nothing encouraging. It is, brother. Bro, listen, fam. To get back to winning, bro, that's the balance. That's how the universe act, bro. That's balance. You win and you lose. That's the whole point. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And this team right now is at a place where it got wrong leadership. The only way it's going to get better is a purging process has to happen. The purging process is going on right now. And listen, change, and when you grow, there's such a thing called growing pains. Like if you was, a young person and you went from this height to this height, they got growing pains. Growing, every now and again, the grow hurts. There'll be a little discomfort in the growth process. This is nature. This is natural. This is organic. So you'll have some level of discomfort for the growth process. This is a purge process. The Saints are going to be undergoing a purge. You're going to see new leadership. You're going to see a new coach sooner or later because they're not going to win enough games to keep him here. And then people are going to pull money away, which is ultimately, and you already heard what Mickey Loomis said, that Gail Benson was asking them about what we're going to do to turn around. So she already notices. At least I played that, but that's a big point out of all the nothingness that Mickey Loomis talked about. That was something that, and shout out to Mike Hoss on that he did ask that question about Gail Benson and where she's at, because I get asked that question all the time. And that came from Mickey flipping Loomis's mouth about her being concerned about, he said it was about the supporters. It's not not just that, it's concern about the money. Because Gail, even though Gail is a Southern Belle and she's a brand ambassador, listen, Gail all about her money. She all about her money. I'm just going to keep it all the way funky. 5 or 6 people at the top of the organization, five of them out of the 6 are money people. One football dude, and that's Mickey Loomis up there. All them other people, they're about money, man. So she all about her money. Don't let the smooth taste fool you, baby. Don't let the smooth taste fool you, baby. Gail all about her money. And for Mickey to get up there and say, well, yeah, she was concerned. Oh, she was concerned. Oh, Gail. Oh, well, it's me. She was concerned. She's a little concerned, about, the supporters and the players. And, I'm like, man, listen, I'm not concerned about the players, man. The players are the ones that's partly responsible for what's going on the field. So they need to be concerned about us, because we saying, what are y'all doing? Y'all embarrassing yourselves, and us by proximity. You're embarrassing us by association over here, but I digress. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna get on what's A-Camp. One more of them. He says, why people acting like Derek Carr gonna come and save the team? At what point in time have Dennis Allen and Derek Carr ever rattled off more wins than losses? It's just the fact that the starting quarterback is coming back. It's just another way to sell you hope. It's just, that's all they got right now. Since the team is underperforming, every little change has to be sold with Derek Carr coming back. It should translate into a win insofar as, because Carolina is not a good team. They're the worst team in the NFL. So do I think the Saints are worse than Carolina? I don't think the Saints are worse than Carolina, which is the worst team in the NFL. I don't think they're worse than them. I think they do beat the worst team in the NFL, but I don't think that's the game. The game is the Atlanta game. That's what I'm looking at. I do expect them to beat Carolina. I'm just putting that on the record. I'm not too sure about the Atlanta game. That is where it is. That's why I was saying, and we'll talk about this on the preview mode tomorrow, is that's what we have, that the Saints have to get right against Carolina. This is a medicine game. Like, if the Saints are serious about doing anything, they got to come out and reestablish offensive dominance in this game against Carolina. They have to do that, because the Atlanta game, they coming. They coming to play. They're on top of the NFC South. And the Saints have to be able to beat them. They lost to them. They gave them the first matchup. They can't let Atlanta sweep them. If they sweep them, you're going to see another level of aggression against Dennis Allen. Because if the Falcons sweep the Saints, they hadn't done that in a while. If they sweep them 2 weeks from now, fam, you're going to see a whole level of disgust and more angst coming down on Dennis Allen. You're going to see it. You're going to feel it too, because it's another thing to lose to the Falcons. It's another level and energy to lose to the Falcons twice in a season. I'm telling y'all, we hadn't seen that in a while because we've been beating their breaks off. But that will show you that we have purely regressed if Atlanta sweeps you on the season. Then you go from 3-7 to 3-8, and you would have to basically win all of your games. Cleveland, Green Bay, Raiders, Commanders, Tampa Bay, Giants, all those remaining games, you would have to go undefeated to have a chance. You have to go because they done wasted all of this. They done wasted it all away. But this is necessary. This has to happen for us to get to a position so we can get new leadership, man. It has to crash and burn like this to get these people off the team. It has to. It got to go. It's just we under a purge. Purge is good. It's good to purge. It really is. Sometimes you got to purge these people. Sometimes you got to. They don't know how to do anything gently, so you got a clam, or actually you got a crab on top of the team, and Mickey Loomis, and he's doing this. One more before we go.
Mickey Loomis, you got to do New Orleans better. Come on, Mickey. It's on you, Mickey. You got to make a move tonight, Mickey. He's not ready for this, Mickey. You're killing the city. You're killing a reputation. 3rd and 1, they tried to throw a pass. Mickey Loomis, you got to do New Orleans better.
You got to make a move tonight, Mickey. You're killing the city. Yeah, you definitely killing the city. He killing the city. All right, so anyway, fam, y'all check out our sponsors, man. Much love to you guys. I shall return tomorrow for the preview stream for this matchup, man. And we'll go at it then. So much love to y'all guys. Y'all have a fantastic night. I'll see you Friday. Who that? Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elvis. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.